Christine Lisi at this hour. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen reporting the Falcons have emerged as a sleeper team to acquire Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. They joined the Panthers, Saints, and Browns as teams that have met with or are interested in trading for Watson. He is facing 22 civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and inappropriate behavior. Defensive end Randy Gregory agreed to a 5-year, $70 million deal with the Broncos hours after he agreed to a similar contract to return to Dallas. The Cowboys now look to replace Gregory's production, explains ESPN's Dan Graziano.
Darius Smith got cut by the Packers yesterday. Von Miller has Texas roots. Chandler Jones is still, you can get guys. The Cowboys don't like to go outside their building and spend on other people's free agents because they like to pay and retain their own. But in this case, they weren't able to do that.
Gregory is the second impact defensive free agent added by Denver during the free agent negotiating period, along with 49ers tackle DJ Jones. Ravens and safety Marcus Williams agreed on a 5-year, $70 million contract. Braves signed newly acquired first baseman Matt Olson, 8 years, $168 million.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews right from your employer dashboard. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Hey, what's happening in Jacksonville? How you feeling about spending Shad Khan's money? I feel pretty good about it. I don't know about you guys, but the Jacksonville Jaguars have been a key player in free agency. And with a roster that hasn't been very good, I know the dangers of free agency. I don't think because you spend in free agency, it automatically makes you good. It could be a 50-50 proposition. But at this point, I think it's something the Jags had to do. It feels like a little bit coming off 2016 to get to 2017. And Shad was like, hey, it's time to win. And we're going to talk about that today. Whose call was this? Is this Shad Khan saying, listen, we got the cash. We got the cap space. I'm tired of this 3 wins, 2 wins, 1 win kind of stuff. Let's go at least be able to compete week in, week out, win some football games, and hopefully turn this thing into a perennial postseason team. But let's start here. And does spending money get us there? And I think that often is the case. I think it can get you there, along with some good drafts and a good nucleus of players. Brent Martineau on the road over in the Tampa area for today and kind of on the road all week. Austin Lane back in the Action Sports Jax studios, along with Casey Kurtz, monitoring all things free agency, a little Major League Baseball free agency as well. We've got the first 4 tonight on ESPN 690. Don't forget, go to ESPN690.com and fill out your brackets for a chance at $1 million in the perfect bracket. And the biggest question on my mind today, I thought of it a couple times. Did you get around the goose?
Oh, yeah, we're all good with the goose now.
Oh, what happened?
I'm fine. I had
Peace treaty?
Well, no, not really. I just had established dominance last night, and it hasn't bothered me since, so we're all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Casey, you cool?
Casey, did you see me last night?
So I looked out the window, and I saw you screaming at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
How'd you get around it?
No, he just let me. He put his head back down and went away.
Really?
Yeah, man.
See, me and Brian Middleton spent 20 minutes on the stairs. We couldn't get around him.
No, man, you just got to look it dead in the eyes and let him know what's up right now. You know what I'm saying?
Brian yelled at it.
Okay.
I don't know why. Brian was like, hey,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then so we did that for a bit. And right when we had a plan, I'm telling you, this thing pulled out its wings and started flying at us. And that's when we ran back in the building. We thought it was over for us type situation.
Yeah.
If you got the security cameras from out there, it's pretty bad, but we eventually got around it. And now I'm going in the other door.
Yeah, see, I had to go. I had to go old school like Nate Diaz, man, and kind of what's up then? Are we doing this or not? And just kind of, I let him know what was up, and he backed down, so I was happy. So this morning when I came back to the studio, he just let me go. He didn't even bother me, and then he wasn't around at least when I got here this afternoon. So I think we're on good terms.
That's very good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't see any emails going back and forth of people attacked today by the goose.
Well, that's because no one's parking in the parking lot now. They're all parking on the side of the building.
Yeah, there's literally no
there's
cars
nobody in
over
the parking lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You might have established some dominance one-on-one with that goose, Austin Lane, but I got a feeling the goose won the mental game with the entire Cox Media Group.
Oh no, literally, yeah. I mean, it's a 10-8 round for sure because my car is the only one in the parking lot right now. It's crazy. It's a ghost town out there.
It's like COVID all over again.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll continue to update you on the goose, and hopefully there are no newsworthy stories. You really got to be you can have some fun with the goose. The goose stuff's real, protecting the eggs. I get it, but we don't want anything going viral because that's probably a negative thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we need to call Logan Cook. I hate to say it. I'm going to be the one to say it, but I think Logan Cook will get us in a good spot with the
goose. Hey, maybe, that guy on the ladder, if you look out our window, maybe that's a good sniper spot.
Yeah, now we're talking. Maybe just bring that guy over there and scare the goose. But actually, I did some reconnaissance, and I figured out what happened and why they're building the nest there. Do you know what's going on with that?
No, I don't.
So we have a lovely coworker here that takes care of the cat in the parking lot.
Yes.
And they took it upon themselves to build the cat like a bed and stuff. Well, the geese saw that and then decided to make that cat bed their nesting grounds.
Oh.
So that's why they set up shop right next to the building.
I see. That's a good find by the goose.
Yeah.
And also, it's great to see now we are part of the Jacksonville Zoo branch.
No, for sure, man. Who you telling?
I didn't know they had a satellite campus.
Who you
but
telling?
Apparently we are part of it.
I know. That goose stepped into the Ritz-Carlton in terms of nesting grounds for sure.
And we don't encourage. We're not encouraging people to come by. We don't want that, in fact, and we're not taking admissions. Not yet. We'll see if things get really bad on ESPN 690, and maybe we will charge admissions. But apparently, in the creek over there, adjacent to the building as well, which has a tendency to flood if we get a bunch of rain, also has a gator in there. So
nice.
We've got cats, we've got gators, we've got geese, and more to come.
Yeah, for sure.
Allegedly,
absolutely.
And we're right near the Ospreys. The home of the Ospreys, and those things will sit up on that those electrical towers and just poop on your car left and right.
Yeah, it's a little annoying. and to kind of get back to Casey's point a little bit, though, there's one of those animals that you actually eat for Christmas sometimes. So, if calls got to be made to handle this, so be it.
I'm saying, at some point, somebody's going to have to snitch on the goose.
Yeah.
And Brian Middleton said he's not above it.
Oh,
so,
I'm not hey.
Listen.
Hey.
I don't look. Hey. I hate parking on the side as much as everybody. I don't want the goose to win, but at the same time, when it started flying at me, I realized I wasn't ready.
It's a big animal now.
Amazing. All right, now to the big story of the day. Not the goose, probably not yet, at least. What about Myles Jack, released by the Jacksonville Jaguars? We had this conversation yesterday, guys. We thought Myles Jack, I thought, could be on his way out after 22. I thought, okay, they're going to go strong in the middle on a Mike Caldwell defense. I guess they said, nope, this is a replacement for Myles Jack, and we don't want some $20-25 million tied up in the middle of our defense there at the linebacker position, which I guess I do understand. But a flat-out release today did surprise me. This is a talented guy, okay? Maybe you could say Myles Jack didn't live up to the new contract or live up to what some thought he'd be. I think Myles Jack's been a pretty good player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they have done Myles wrong at times by putting him in different schemes and different spots and not letting him settle and asking him to do some things that maybe didn't fit to the strongest side of his game. But I think he's been a good player. I think he's been overall good player for the Jacksonville Jaguars, good person in that locker room, all those things. They got 6 years out of a guy that a lot of people weren't sure you could get that long out of if you go all the way back to the draft. But I still think he's a valuable enough player for somebody else in the league to maybe make a trade and then restructure a deal, Austin. Were you a little surprised it was a flat-out release?
I was definitely surprised. It's no secret that there was a little bit of regression this year, whether he had the green dot in his helmet or not. There's a couple times where, there's some busted coverages that, it's probably fair to say some of those were his fault. But if you look at the body of work of Myles Jack and what he's been able to do when he's been put in the right positions and the right situations, he has been, I would say a good linebacker for this team. So I'm not surprised that Doug Peterson company decided to move on now. They've got other guys filling that spot, and you don't want to make that such a high priority in terms of, strapping so much of the cap just to the middle line or the linebacking core. But at the same time, I feel like you might have been able to get something for him, and it might have been like a rash decision.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's too many rash decisions, right? I mean, they still would have a little bit of time here. They don't need to do anything super soon. And so I think they could have floated this. They must have asked around. Usually word gets out if somebody's shopping a player. So we didn't hear any of that, and the national guys didn't hear any of that, obviously. So they kept it pretty much under wraps, or they didn't try that hard. I mean, I guess. But I just thought maybe the market would be a little higher for a guy like Myles Jack. And, again, if you put him in a 4-3 scheme, Austin, and put him on the weak side, you know what you get? You get what the Jags got in their 1-in-15 year. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds bad. No, it isn't. Myles Jack, if that team was 500, he was a Pro Bowler that year. He was a good player that year, a very good player. And he had good moments in other spots. And he was never, in my opinion, terrible. But he had a very good year that year in the appropriate scheme. It took him a long time to get there. And in 6 years with Jacksonville, he really didn't play in his probably best fit very often.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we go back to when Yannick Ngakoue was trying to get that contract and went to Myles Jack, and maybe we questioned it a little bit because at the time, he was a top 3 paid linebacker in the league. I think when that contract came out, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was pretty high. And they were getting ahead of it a little bit. Yeah, trying to get ahead of it.
No, I get getting ahead of it, but then, you know, I always say, like, what is the money saying about you? I mean, if you're paid like a top 3 linebacker, well, then you got to produce like one. And you know, I'm not saying it's all Myles Jack's fault. I mean, he is responsible for his play on the field, but it's like we've talked about. There was instances, I feel like, where he wasn't really set up to succeed, whether he is calling the plays, whether it was a new defense. I mean, you know, especially from the linebacking position where you're kind of the general of the team, especially the inside linebacker position, and you go from a 4-3 to a 3-4, not everybody is wired for that. Not everybody's fit for that. You know, I mean, you see a guy like one of the greatest linebackers of the decade, Luke Kuechly. I mean, he was made for the 4-3. He goes to the 3-4, and he still has success, but he'll be the first one to tell you, like, he didn't feel the most comfortable doing that and decided to walk away for other reasons. But that's just a prime example of you know, one of the best linebackers of the decade saying, yeah, I mean, the 3-4 wasn't really for me. I don't know why it didn't work out for Myles Jack last year when he lost the green dot, you know, and we wasn't making the plays anymore, because I thought that defense was going to be set up for him to succeed, to run around, to fly east to west. And you just saw a lot of confusion, not just from him because it's the guys around him as well, but, you know, you saw some confusion from Myles Jack. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You get back in a 4-3 defense, which you're accustomed to, get on the outside, use your speed, don't have to make any of the calls, and I'm sure he's going to flourish.
I'm going to be fully honest with you here, and I'll go back to some of the things we say in our business. Everybody likes to say, I told you so, I told you so. I see more freaking I told you so's about everything that's coming out day in, day out. It does drive me nuts. So I'll tell you what I told you. I thought 2016, I was in Chicago for that draft. I loved Myles Jack. I thought Myles Jack was, I said this multiple times, I thought maybe was the best player in the draft. Kind of good. And obviously he had the knee stuff. And half the teams, and maybe even more than half the teams, were very alarmed by that. He drops all the way to the second round. The Jags, I think they moved up like 2 picks to get him. Great move in my estimation by the Jags. I think the Jags getting Myles Jack, I thought it was part of a very good draft at the time, right? Jalen Ramsey, Myles Jack, Yannick Ngakoue. Terrific. Maybe the best 3 rounds that we've had and we can remember. And I thought they would get more out of him. And I'm going to side with Myles on this side, on this thing here, and I'm going to tell you that I think the Jags didn't do right as much by Myles Jack as Myles Jack failed the Jags in terms of how good I think he could have been here in Jacksonville. By the way, this guy's only going to be 27 years old. He still could play a lot more football at a very high level, and like you said, in a right spot, in a right fit, and look out now. He's got a lot of good football ahead of him. I think you just don't find the tool set that this guy has in many places. And I don't know, man. I think trying to teach him all 3 different spots early on, going strong side, going middle, going weak side, you know, going 3-4. I really think the Jags didn't squeeze enough out of Myles Jack's talent because of the positions they put him in more than Myles Jack didn't squeeze enough out of his talents.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there, but it still does come down to the player, you know, and great ones can find a way to make it work to the best of their abilities. And, you know, obviously he's not fitted for a 3-4 defense, or at least the one that you saw last year. But, you know, there's other examples. You know, remember he got ejected and he was a captain. That wasn't a good look.
Yeah, bad.
You know, that was a horrible look when he threw that punch. I forgot who the guy was. Kansas City
right?
game, but I forgot
First
who.
game in the end zone.
Yeah, but I forgot
was
who
that Watkins?
I think it was Robinson, if I'm not mistaken.
Might have been
DeMarcus Robinson, number 11, I think.
Right.
Yeah. But so that wasn't a good look for Myles back in 19. But it's just, to me, it comes down to more of the system. Yeah, I mean, sure, there's the mental game that he's probably got to figure out a little more. The athleticism is there. You don't go from playing both sides of the ball in college and not be a freak athlete. And I still think he has that. I'm not really sure if he's even lost a step. To me, it's finding a place where he's comfortable, a defense that can sustain, and a defense that he can kind of expect the same thing year in and year out. And unfortunately, when he was here, it was all types of wrinkles and all types of schemes and everything. And it just didn't fit his playing style.
Yeah, I think it was just a lack of direction for the organization at times. And you and I have talked about this a lot. Guys like Taven Bryan even. And I'm not saying Taven Bryan didn't. I think Taven Bryan's an example of a guy who hasn't got a lot out of his talents. Now, he wasn't always put in a great situation right off the rip, but since then he has been, and he didn't get enough out of his talents. But I just think, we agree on this, that the Jags ask too much of people sometimes. And they try to move positions or make them versatile positions instead of just saying, here's what you do really well, and we are going to be good because you do this really well, and you are going to be great because this is where you fit. They have not done enough of that. Even to the point, and we have recent history of this, and we can sit here and we can make fun and poke fun at the green dot of Urban Meyer, and we all knew it. But again, that's doing wrong by the player. Like, do your damn homework, Urban Meyer, Trent Baalke, everybody. We all knew it. Everybody in town knew it. Everybody in the locker room knew it. Everybody in the building should have known it. Don't put them in that situation to get a player uncomfortable. And so, listen, I know I'm sounding a little bit like I'm defending Myles here, and in a way, I kind of am. I think, again, I'll stand by this. I think Myles Jack was a good player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think he had the chance to be a great player for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think the Jaguars didn't help get him to be great. Did Myles have a part of that? Probably. He probably did, to Austin's point. But I think it was one of these examples where I just don't think the organization did him right on countless different occasions, by the way, and in multiple different regimes and schemes. So listen, don't be surprised if a guy like Myles Jack is really good now that he leaves here. Even better. And don't be surprised, I think, of DJ Chark now going to Detroit, who takes off. And I know that's a real risk-reward there on the Jags' part. I don't fault the Jags for letting DJ go, but I'm not going to be surprised if DJ goes and has, the next 5 years be really, really good.
Well, and that's to say, I mean, maybe they did offer. Maybe DJ just wanted a change of scenery as well.
He might have.
He
indicated that, didn't he?
Yeah. If you would have franchise tagged him, well, then you're kind of showing his hand there. But when you chose to franchise tag Cam Robinson, I think that was the beginning of the end for DJ Chark, regardless of how much money you threw at him. I just think that he wants a change of scenery, and it's going to be. I mean, it'll be a pressure season on him in Detroit because it's essentially a prove-it deal. But I think. And we'll see what Zay Jones can do. I mean, I think you're talking about a wide receiver 3 or maybe a 4. I mean, I think he's going to be in competition with a guy like Marvin Jones for playing time. But, it begs the question of, would you rather have had a DJ Chark or would you rather have given all money to Zay Jones?
Well, and that's really where I was going next. How do we answer that? Listen, I know people are really scratching their head at the Zay Jones move. I'm not sure I'm scratching my head at it to that degree. I am relative to maybe DJ, and you're right. DJ might have been the heavy in this and said, hey, I kind of want to try something different. I talked to these guys at the Combine a couple weeks ago, and they admitted, when I asked them, said the market for DJ is really tricky. And actually, Austin, I thought DJ would have got more than he got. He got 1 year, basically a $10 million deal. I think it could go to 12, but it's really a show-me deal. So the market says he really wasn't being coveted in terms of even a Zay Jones kind of deal. But I do think it's fair to ask the question, would you rather have DJ than Zay Jones? And I think my answer to that would be yes, because I think we're going to end up giving something to the, what was it, like 20-something guaranteed to Zay Jones? Does that sound right? Or maybe it's in the 14. I think it was $14 million guaranteed to Zay Jones over the time of his contract. So, yeah, I think if you ask me that question, I like what I know. And I think, like you always say, I've seen the good of DJ Chark, and I only think he's going to get better. And I think he has a skill set that's not easy to find out there, too. So I think I wish they would have kept DJ Chark. Now, if he didn't want to be here, he didn't want to be here. No,
exactly, and that very well could have been the case. By the way, Zay Jones getting a 3-year, $24 million contract, including a $14 million guarantee and a $5.5 million signing bonus.
Yeah, so there's $14 million tied up. Could you have taken that $14 million and in some way, shape, or form tied it into a show-me-year or 2-year type of deal like they did with Marvin Jones for DJ Chark? I would say yes.
Yeah, and I hope that was kind of the case. And once again, like, at that point, Chark had to have wanted to be here, and I'm not sure if that's the case. Maybe he just wanted to say peace, I'll see you later, and I'm going to start anew. And if that's the case, then more power to you, right? Because, yeah, he had a great season here, but I'm sure there's some frustration built up with Urban Meyer. There's a lot of frustration built up with the old regime, and maybe he just wanted the change of scenery. But I think that if you're the Jaguars and you're Trent Baalke, I just hope that you did try to throw that kind of offer at him, because I think in terms of the Zay Jones money, yeah, I mean, we'll see what Zay Jones can do. He's been around the league for a while. I think you kind of know what you're getting now. Maybe he plays his best football in Jacksonville. Time will tell. But you have a young guy like DJ Chark who, has gone to a Pro Bowl. I hope you at least try to throw that money at DJ Chark, and he declined. He said, no, thanks, I'm all set. And then it went to Zay Jones.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting to me, and it tells you where the Jags organization potentially is at. And while I think sometimes we're in denial about it, I think we got to readily admit it. There's 3 indications to me that the Jaguars their perception has to get better around the league. Players, agents, everything, fans. And I think the 3 indications of that are this. 1, they spent like crazy and probably overspent to get some of these guys. 2, Amari Cooper didn't happen here, and he picked Cleveland. Potentially. Now we don't know the full story, but did he potentially pick Cleveland over Jacksonville if that was an option? And a guy like DJ Chark, did he potentially say, "Yeah, I want out of Jacksonville, I'm going to Detroit"? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, we don't know that, and I'm not even going to pretend like we do know where their feelings were. Was this money? How much interest was there? Did they offer the right amount for Amari Cooper? Did they want to take over the salary? Listen, all those things are on the table. But if it comes out in the wash that those are some of the reasons why those guys went elsewhere, is because they didn't really want to be in Jacksonville, wanted to try something different, or didn't want to come here in an Amari Cooper case, and then you realize and they had to spend and overspend to get a guy like Christian Kirk in here. Well, that's a reality, right? A reality check of where the organization potentially could be at.
No, and I think that's kind of what took place here, because, once again, we talked about this yesterday a little bit, but if you at least didn't make a play and offer what the Cleveland Browns offered for Amari Cooper, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So I assume Cooper had a little bit of say of what he wanted to do, and I think, the Cowboys respected him enough to do that, and that's why he went to the Browns. I get Doug Peterson coming in here in terms of, because even like when Urban Meyer came in here, we were excited when it first happened. We were optimistic, we had hope, but there was also that school of thought out there that said, well, he hasn't proven anything yet, right? And Urban Meyer is a very polarizing figure, and not everybody agreed, with the hiring of Urban Meyer. And rightfully so. They were right. Congratulations. But I think with Doug Peterson, you're not seeing a lot of people out there saying, oh, they shouldn't have got Doug Peterson. They shouldn't have got Doug Peterson. Now, the way of getting Doug Peterson, we'll go down in history as, all right, that was kind of a clown show. It is what it is, but you still got your guy. I think Doug Peterson is kind of like that safe calm right now that is attracting free agents to come here because he does have a resume. He does have a Super Bowl victory. So he's got that going for him. And players, that means something to them. But also I think there's a school of thought that says, well, yeah, Doug Peterson's coming in. He's the calming force, but he still has a lot to work to do to try to repair the reputation of these Jacksonville Jaguars that took precedent the past 3 or 4 years. Because there's a lot of bad optics. There is a lot of bad culture. And I think some of those guys, regardless if Doug Peterson's here or not, are ready to go to a different team and say, yeah, I see what they're doing in Jacksonville, but I'm not convinced quite yet.
Yeah, so that's something that maybe will flip, right? If you you pay the big bucks, you make some of the right moves, and now you start winning games, and you can flip that in a hurry, by the way. You can do it. You just have to make the right decisions. And I'm talking 5 to 8 decisions in this whole couple-month period that started with Doug Peterson and will end with the draft. We'll see if they can do that. Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690, on the road a little bit. Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Jax studios here on a Tuesday. What does it say that the Jags had to overspend to the point they did? And do you care that they might have upset the NFL place because of it. Talk a little bit more about the Jags free agency. It has been a wild ride in free agency, and we're seeing definitely a turning over of this roster under Trent Baalke and now Doug Peterson. More to come. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Increasing clouds today. Some afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms roll in. High temperatures beforehand in the mid to upper 70s. Lingering showers overnight down into the upper 50s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
You're on your way to work, and then, bam, your whole life changes in that second. Forever. You're injured, and now you have to fight for justice or live your life in pain. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Sometimes you need an adjustment for that back or neck. Sometimes you need massage therapy for the same. Maybe you need a wellness consultation to protect from injury. You can do all of that and more at 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center. And it doesn't matter where you are in town. There's a 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center near you on the south side in St. Augustine and the newest location on the west side. If you've had personal injury due to an accident, look up 904chiro.com. If you need a wellness consultation, look up 904chiro.com. If you need massage therapy or an adjustment, look up 904chiro.com.
The Big Ten is up, and you know what that means. Get ready, get set, go to Arlington Toyota for the Ready, Set, Go event going on now. Leave it to our friends over at Arlington to have over 500 new Toyotas available with inventory arriving daily. You also get a lifetime warranty plus 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. And with 4.7 out of 5 stars and over 14,000 Google reviews, you know you'll be one happy customer. Don't wait. Shop the Ready, Set, Go event in Arlington's state-of-the-art showroom or online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
It's that time of year we get to watch the best players in the world in our own backyard. Catch some of the Players' Championship fever with golf fever of your own. Save an extra $10 on the Dream 18 card this week at Action Sports Jax, dream18.com. Play a lot of golf, just don't pay full price to play a lot of golf. Order the 2022 Dream 18 card this week for just $59. Golf courses have raised their rates, so you can save a lot while you play with the Dream 18 card at courses like Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, The Yards, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. This week, it's just $59 for the Dream 18 card. That's it. And some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, dream18.com.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't Safe Touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what Safe Touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And Safe Touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the Safe Touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the Safe Touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the two-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
This is Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding. With home values at an all-time high, it's a great time to turn your home equity into the cash you need. And get a closing cost credit from RP Funding. Visit rpfunding.com.
Terms and conditions apply. Unless 7168 Equal Housing.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
I think it's Jameis Winston. I don't even think it's close. If we look at Jameis the first 5 years of his career, he averaged 16 interceptions per season. You can't play quarterback in the NFL, at least as a winner, and do that. Then you go back to last year, before the ACL injury, 7 starts. Through those 7 starts, 3 interceptions. So he's trending towards breaking that narrative and setting career highs when it comes to minimal interceptions. He was also on track career high for completion percentage, QBR, pass rating, and yards per attempt. So if you watch the tape, you watch the player make much better decisions, value the football much more.
That is Dan Orlovsky, of course, from ESPN. Jameis Winston still out there. What's the latest with Deshaun Watson? We'll get into that in just a bit. Let's stay on the Jags for a little longer now. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hey, guys, has the flood of names slowed up overall on social media? I mean, obviously it was a big 5-6 hour swing. It didn't really stop into the evening hours last night, and now I feel like today it's starting to trickle in a little bit more and probably do the same over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much today. I mean, now it seems like it's all about the Deshaun Watson rumors more than anything.
Yeah, I think so. I think where Watson, including Atlanta, in the fray, which is pretty interesting because didn't they just front like $15 million or something to Matt Ryan like a few days ago?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting storyline we'll get into in just a bit. Let's stay on the Jags, like I mentioned. Do you mind that the Jags? Heck, they might even have ticked some people off the way they did some of these contracts and really overpaid maybe the marketplace and reset the market to get some. I don't know who it was that tweeted today that, the Jags kind of paid this and that. And some of the other teams are like, no, we're not paying that to you guys. And now the agents are putting their hand out, which they should. I mean, I would do that if I was the agent too. Like, hey, if this is Christian Kirk's market, then so do you mind the Jags doing that?
I mean, I don't mind them doing that because we always talk about it. It's not our money, number one. And number two, I mean, the more starters you can get in free agency, the better. And I think it's safe to say right now, depending with Evan Engram, I think you got 5 solid starters on your team that you didn't have before free agency started. So I'm not mad at that whatsoever. Talk to me in 2 or 3 years. If guys are playing well or guys aren't playing well, then we can have that conversation. But at the end of the day, I mean, scared money don't make money. And they spent some, so I'm not mad at it. I don't care what the other agents or other teams are thinking about it. I mean, I'd rather see them spend all the money than just sit on it, and then we have the same roster from last year.
Yeah, listen, I agree. I have no problem with it. And I think the Jags had to do this a couple of times since I've been here, to be honest with you. The organization has stunk overall. And I'm not saying people haven't tried and they haven't tried to get it better and make it better, but they haven't won. And winning cures it. And especially coming off these last 4 or 5 years, it has not been good. It's been a nightmare perception-wise for the Jacksonville Jaguars ever since they went to the AFC Championship game, quite frankly. So if this is what you got to do to turn the organization around, fine. What's the other motivation here behind the money? Well, Trent Baalke's trying to save his butt. That's what he's trying to do. Mm-hmm. Absolutely he is. I mean, listen, the guy shouldn't have the GM job. He really shouldn't. And everybody knows that. And Trent probably knows that he's the luckiest man in the NFL maybe to have the GM job, quite frankly. And so what's the best way to save it? What's the best way to move it forward? What's the best way to buy yourself time and prove it? Well, get some people who can play and win some games.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the barometer for the Jacksonville Jaguars is not that hefty. I mean, they go win 7 games this year. Your owner thinks you're doing a hell of a job. That's for damn sure, I would think. So, and heck, I'm not sure many people would disagree. Like, if you win 7 games, I think maybe you are doing a good job. At least turn this thing in the right direction. I don't think this Doug Peterson, I don't know where his philosophy on this is, but he obviously looked at the roster and said, we need some players. And then the other player in all this is Shad. And I mentioned this at the top of the show. In 2016, when Gus Bradley didn't win and they moved on from Gus, really, and really kept a lot of everything else, and then added Doug Marrone as the head coach and Tom Coughlin, which ironically, by the way, I was at the Yankees complex today right across from Raymond James Stadium, and when they made that decision, we were at the national championship game between Clemson and Alabama on a Monday when they hired those guys, and we actually thought it was going to be Mike Smith.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy that we're talking about that because, I'm literally miles away from it right now here in the Tampa area. And that was the Deshaun Watson, by the way, win over Alabama. It was a hell of a national championship game. So now I'm really going off on a tangent down memory lane. But if you go back to 16 to 17, I felt like Shad finally said, you know what? I am tired of losing, and we are going to win. And we're going to do whatever the heck we have to do to win. And we're going to go get Calais Campbell. We're going to go get A.J. Boye. We're going to get players like that because we have enough guys here that are pretty good and that can win some games. Now, I don't know if he even thought they could go to the AFC Championship game. But the story back then is one of the reasons they didn't go with Josh McDaniels was because he wanted to blow the thing up. And Shad was like, no, we're going to add and we're going to win now. We're going to do it now. And I get the feeling, Austin, that that's where we're at in 2022. It's like, okay, 4 wins in 2 years. It's been a mess. We've had 2 number 1 overall picks. We've got our quarterback. It's go time. And so let's go spend money. So my question to you is, do you think this is Shad motivated? Or do you think this is Trent motivated and maybe even a little Doug motivated?
No, there's a combination here because we had to hear the word collaboration at least 25 times during that press conference. So it's definitely a collaboration here. But I think if you talk about some of the signings, like Sheriff, I think that's got Doug Peterson written all over it. I think Peterson came in and said, we have to establish the trenches. And I think Sheriff is that guy. So I think that was more of a Doug Peterson type, signing. I think in terms of getting weapons for Trevor Lawrence, that was probably a collective because once again, Doug Peterson, former quarterback, offensive-minded coach, he's obviously got Trevor's back. I think Trent Baalke knows what's at stake, and I think if you're Shad Khan, you realize what you got with Trevor Lawrence where you try to have to do right by him and set him up for success, right? Because it's not every single day you can get a quote-unquote, a once-in-a-generational type player. Now, obviously, Trevor's got to earn that moniker and all that, but that's what you essentially have right now, at least in formality with Trevor Lawrence. So I think that was more of just, once again, the collaboration saying we got to help Trevor Lawrence out. And then on the defensive side of the ball, that could have been more Baalke, it could have been more Caldwell, but I don't think it's just one guy, like a Trent Baalke that's running this show right now. I think Doug Peterson has a lot of say of who the free agents are and what they're trying to go after.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I don't think there's one answer, but I do kind of wonder where Shad will tell you that he learned a lot through the process, and he's always learning, and he's talking to a lot of people around the NFL, and I wonder how much feedback he got in those interviews, with a countless number of interviews that they did, of, hey, here's my plan. I'm going to spend. You have a lot of money. We're going to spend. We're going to draft well, but we're going to spend, and I wonder if that put it in his mind, and Trent, by the way, being in the room there, to say, okay, it's time to spend. I will say Trent, he didn't back off it a couple weeks ago. He said, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to spend Shad's money. He actually said that. So, and then I agree with Doug. So I do think it's collaborative, but I guess sooner or later you got to get the call from the boss to say, okay, it's okay to spend it, but Shad's been willing to spend it in the past. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I think if you look over the last 10 years or something like that, they've spent just as much, if not more, than anybody else in the NFL, which also shows you where they've been. But they've spent a lot of money. So Shad hasn't been like the NFL setup where you kind of have to spend money, but it's not like Shad's been cheapening out at the free agency stuff. He has spent a lot of money. They just have to make better decisions draft-wise, in free agency, keep them, all these things. But it's really interesting to hear coming off Doug and Trent saying, hey, we got to draft, develop, and keep. Well, they just went and paid 6 guys an enormous amount of money. And one of the things they said there, Austin, remember coming out of the combine, was you got to be really careful signing free agents because what does it say to your guys that are already in the locker room if they're outperforming a guy you just brought in for $18 million a year? Well, that screams out to Christian Kirk. And that's why we said yesterday, the pressure's on Kirk to deliver almost like right away. Yeah. Or you could sense like that wide receiver room be like, what the hell? Why am I getting paid $8 million?
Oh, no, without a doubt. A few things from that, though. Yeah, I understand that, you got to take care of the guys in that locker room first before those free agents. but this is a 3-win team, and the previous year a 1-year team. So like, I'm not sure how many guys are in the locker room saying, well, I mean, I played better than this free agent did. I don't think really any of those guys in the locker room can say that right now, because we saw what it looked like last year. We saw what it looked like 2 years ago. And yes, there is definitely going to be a lot of pressure on Christian Kirk. You know, I mean, I get it. You got Trevor Lawrence a weapon, but it came at a very high price. But I think the beauty is this. I understand right now you see this wide receiving core. You see Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Christian Kirk. You know, we'll see it with Laviska Shenault. I think Treadwell is still here, if I'm not mistaken, or is he gone? He's still.
Did they just? Oh no, it wasn't. I just saw some news, but it wasn't Treadwell.
Okay, so he's still here then.
Godwin.
Okay, so we'll say he's still here, and then Jamal Agnew.
But is Treadwell a free agent? Was he a free agent?
Oh, he might be then.
I'm pretty sure he's a free agent.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
so he's free agent.
I don't think Treadwell's
okay, so scratch. I mean, regardless if he's playing in the game, you probably have other issues as well. But you got Evan Ingram, Dan Arnold. I get it. It's not the sexiest look on paper. But the beauty of these signings, I think personally, is that if Trevor Lawrence is who we think he's supposed to be, then he's going to elevate these guys. If Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be the savior of this franchise, then Christian Kirk is supposed to have a monumental year, probably his first year over 1,000 yards. If Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be, the guy that we think he's going to be, then Evan Ingram is going to have a season where that's who we thought he was going to be the whole time in New York. So to me, yeah, I assume you probably get another guy in the draft. You should. I mean, pick number 33, there's going to be a guaranteed great receiver there just waiting for you. And depending how it shakes out, hopefully they get that receiver as well. But I think your wide receiving group this year looks better than last year. Trevor Lawrence going from year 1 to year 2, where you make your most progress as a football player, I like that as well. So to me, yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Christian Kirk. There's also a lot of pressure on Trevor Lawrence because now this team is investing in making sure you got the guys that, you need to be successful. Now, it's not the sexiest guys once again, but they're better guys than last year. So I think it's more on Trevor Lawrence even than it is on a guy like Christian Kirk or a guy like Evan Ingram.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I got a question about Trevor Lawrence and all of this, too. We'll do that when we come back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 here on a Tuesday. Free agency frenzy continues. The NFL league year is tomorrow, so all of these agreed-upon contracts will then be signed, and you'll start hearing from some of these free agents most likely on Thursday and Friday here in Jacksonville. We'll be right back on ESPN 690.
Brian Middleton here. Listen, if you're a fan of Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane, then I have a treat for you. Every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7, your sports talk fix gets one more hour of greatness with Action Sports Jax Overtime with Casey Kurtz and myself. We're breaking down local and national sports, and with segments like Cash It or Trash It, vague headlines, and I Said What I Said, every moment is action-packed. So remember, every Monday and Thursday after Action Sports Jax, stick around for Action Sports Jax Overtime from 6 to 7 right here on ESPN 690.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. So you need to change your oil. Right now you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Daily Protection or Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP oil filter, plus an STP air filter or cabin air filter for just $36.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If cold candidate calls aren't turning into hot hiring leads, then you need Indeed. Because Indeed's powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates all in one place. Find your next great hire visiting Indeed.com/credit.
If this season your business has flourished well above your staffing plan, you need Indeed. Because Indeed is the all-in-one hiring platform that makes it easier to attract, screen, and hire quality candidates from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you've been injured on the job and are not receiving the benefits you're entitled to, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Pauline Savigny, owner of Gracie Aerospace and a hyper-connected mentoring graduate of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. Being a member of Jack's Chamber and involved with JWBC has provided me with many great new relationships. Success doesn't come without strong support, and the people of JWBC have provided exactly that. JWBC furthers my confidence in that deliverance by providing a strong group of women business leaders to connect with, learn from, and lean on. For more information, visit jackschamberfoundation.org.
The Big Ten is up, and you know what that means. Get ready, get set, go to Arlington Toyota for the Ready, Set, Go event going on now. Leave it to our friends over at Arlington to have over 500 new Toyotas available with inventory arriving daily. You also get a lifetime warranty plus 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. And with 4.7 out of 5 stars and over 14,000 Google reviews, you know you'll be one happy customer. Don't wait. Shop the Ready, Set, Go event in Arlington's state-of-the-art showroom or online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Grainger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes you need an adjustment for that back or neck. Sometimes you need massage therapy for the same. Maybe you need a wellness consultation to protect from injury. You can do all of that and more at 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center. And it doesn't matter where you are in town. There's a 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center near you on the south side in St. Augustine and the newest location on the west side. If you've had personal injury due to an accident, look up 904chiro.com. If you need a wellness consultation, look up 904chiro.com. If you need massage therapy or an adjustment, look up 904chiro.com.
Just be positive. Your Community First Mortgage champions make sure you get a great rate, a quick close, and can save you about $3,000 in closing costs. Apply at communityfirstfl.org. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead. With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and build a straightforward plan to generate income even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time without the unnecessary fees. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings, only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today.
Not available in every state. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Norfolk, Illinois.
Okay, so we got the chorizo dumplings, the cucumber empanadas.
Zara's food truck is popping off.
Come on, guys, let's pick it up, all right?
But if she doesn't find a new chef, her truck will be stuck.
Carl quit this morning, so Jessica, I'm gonna need you on the fryer.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jax on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
When you look at it, it's really a 3-year, $150 million contract. There was 1 year already existing, so it really turns into a 2-year, $124 million contract. And I think people are saying, well, what's the significance of this? The significance is it shaves over $16 million in cap space off the Packers cap this year and allows them the flexibility to go tag a player like Devontae Adams. And again, that is, I think, the big number. And it's also going to be reviewed on a year-to-year basis, where if Aaron Rodgers were to walk away after this year or after next year, the Green Bay Packers are essentially kicking the can.
That is Adam Schefter. And you talk about how you can manipulate the cap. The Green Bay Packers may be the latest and greatest, best example of how to do it with Aaron Rodgers. It's a mega deal on paper. Don't feel bad for Aaron Rodgers. His bank account will be doing just fine. He can try whatever kind of method of cleansing he would like.
Yeah, for sure.
That is for sure.
Yep.
Even if it costs a lot. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz. Hey, let's get South Beach Gary in. He's been hanging around. We'll get him in, I think, on the Myles Jack story. What's happening, man?
Hey, guys, I apologize about yesterday. You went to me quicker than you usually do, Brent.
Oh, that's all right. No problem.
Didn't mean to leave you guys in the lurch. Yeah, I was pretty up to date on that Mike White thing. I think that he leaves like the next day or two after I said different school than I thought, but
yeah, a lot of people had him penciled in for
departure real quick.
Yeah, a lot of people had him penciled in for Ole Miss. I don't think anybody saw the Georgia thing coming.
The Myles Jack guys, do you think that is going to have any bearing on whether Brandon Linder stays? Is he going to be another possible cap casualty, or what do you think they're going to do with Brandon Linder? Does that mean anything that Myles Jack went? Does that affect him in any way? Thanks, guys.
Thanks, South Beach Gary. I think it's a good question about Linder. I know that's been floated around a little bit today. Yeah. I don't see it, Austin, and I'm just going off what I looked those guys in the face a couple weeks ago and said, you feel like you're pretty set at center with Linder and Shatley, and they said, yeah. Now, that doesn't mean they can't change their mind. And they weren't going to tell me what they plan to do anyway, I don't think. So it might be a little poker going on. And again, things can change over the course of how much they spent, how much they got, all that stuff in free agency. I still believe – I don't think you're doing a service to this team by opening up more holes in positions that you could be all set on. And the Jags basically – I don't think they opened up a major hole by letting go of Myles Jack. I think they have the potential to open up a major hole if they let Brandon Linder go.
Yeah, I mean, this is another guy who obviously started out here in Jacksonville. When he's on the field, he's pretty reliable. The question is, can he remain healthy for this season? I don't see him going anywhere unless, there was some kind of trade involved that you just couldn't pass up. But unless you can replace him with a better center, I just don't feel the need to let him go right now.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, listen, there's the J.C. Treaders of the world and those guys out there, but I'm not sure they're that much better. And to be honest with you, I like the way their backup situation. This is what I say about their backup position with Shatley, is that it's almost like this complementary position. If Linder gets hurt and he can't make it through, well, then you got a guy who's pretty good, and that's okay.
No, for sure. I think just with Brandon Linder, you're talking about a guy who last year played in 9 games and the year before that played in 9 games. And then, back in 18 played in 9 games as well. It seems to be his lucky number. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the talent on the field. It's just it's the ability to stay healthy, which is also important, I feel like.
Yeah, but they just spent $50 million apparently and $30 million guaranteed on a guy who also has had a little bit of injury trouble on the offensive line in Sheriff.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't. I mean, you can do it both ways. It just depends how much you're concerned. I think it's the nature of the sport sometimes. And I hope they keep Linder. I do. I think it is a little bit interesting. Again, I go back to that second contract kind of talk. And I think it's pretty interesting that guys like Myles Jack was on a second contract. Linder's already been on a second contract. And they might part with guys like that, or they could potentially. And, of course, you can't keep everybody. DJ Chark, they try to keep Cam Robinson around for a little bit, and maybe that gets extended even down the road. DJ Chark, that's a no-go. You got to make tough decisions in the business. I understand that. So we'll see what happens with Brandon Linder. Quick question about Trevor Lawrence. And you mentioned it. You say pressure on Trevor. He looks like he's got an elevated cast around him. I would agree. What happened last year is when ETN went out and DJ Chark went out, it was like, ooh, mm-hmm. Like he didn't have anywhere to go. Marvin Jones maybe lost a step a little bit. He was very inconsistent. And then Laviska played poorly. James Robinson gets hurt. You really didn't have much. I mean, heck, the saving grace of that offense for me for a little stretch was Dan Arnold.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Yeah, that is saying something. But that was I thought, a very key piece, an important piece. the one thing we're leaving out here is ETN coming back. So if you have ETN and you hopefully have Robinson, and now you add Engra and Arnold, and now you put in these receivers and hopefully even draft one more, and you put an all-pro and a guy at right or left guard, and now you had Norwell, who also had that on his resume, but this guy's better. So I think you're right about Trevor. I think, hey, we're doing a pretty good job around you. We're giving you more. Is it the Rolls-Royce of the NFL? Probably not. There are teams and quarterbacks that have better, but this isn't bad to work with and see him take a step. What I'm interested in, Austin, do you think they consulted in him at all in this process? We get caught up in that, right? We see Brady and we see Burrow and we have those conversations, what went on in Green Bay. I feel like if you asked a guy like Trevor, I think he would almost wanted to keep a guy like DJ Chark around.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were training together right before free agency, so yeah. I would definitely say so.
But he's not a dummy either, right? I mean, he knows, hey, it's a business, and also I wonder how much he vouches for a guy like that. He loves Treadwell. I mean, him and their wives are really close and stuff, but Treadwell is not like an A-list receiver, and I think probably Trevor even knows that. So it's a really interesting behind. I don't know anything about what's going on in terms of how much they're talking, communicating, asking, keeping him in the loop. But I think that part of it is pretty fascinating because you're right. Just last week, there's video of him at Bishop Kenny working out with DJ Chark, and a week later, he's in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, I hope there was some sort of consultation there with Trevor Lawrence just to kind of get his thoughts about what do you think about Christian Kirk and everything. But keep in mind, Trevor's still learning this game as well. True. And yeah. it was a rough first year for him, in terms of everything that happened. So, I mean, while I'm sure they did get his input a little bit, I'm not sure how many of the calls he was really making his first year.
And I think Trevor probably, that depends on player too, right? Trevor's probably like, listen, you guys do your job, I'll do mine, Yeah. And he might be, of all the people that right now in that building might trust Doug Peterson, Trevor may be more than anybody trusts Doug Peterson.
He has to, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you hope. I don't know if that trust was ever there with Urban.
True.
So interesting to see how Trevor plays along in these decisions, not just now, but as it goes along. We'll take a break. We come back. We talk more free agency action. Sports Jax on ESPN 690. What's happening with Deshaun Watson, by the way? What's the latest? Could the Atlanta Falcons end up with Deshaun Watson? That's a wild situation to watch over the next couple of days. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18. My home course. Make it your home course, too.
Men, when you're in the mood for love, but you have ED or PE and those little blue pills haven't worked, here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Rabinski. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom-blended medications. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call 904-664-8217. We guarantee you'll see results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call 904-664-8217.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me to be the first person in my family to go to school. That education got me to the first day at my dream job, which I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Do you feel a calling to help others? You can change a local child's life by becoming a foster parent through Daniel. You'll receive training, 24/7 support, and compensation to cover the cost for the child's needs and your time. To qualify, you must be over 21, pass a background check, receive training, and have a caring heart. Foster parent classes are starting soon, so please call Daniel at 296-1055. That's 296-1055, or visit danielkids.org.
Just be laid back. Community First makes smarter borrowing simple, so you can relax, knowing your loan fits your life and your budget. Apply at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union. Just be yourself. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. A third NFC South team showing interest in Deshaun Watson. ESPN's Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen reporting the Falcons have joined the division rival Panthers and Saints, as well as the Browns, as teams that have met with or are interested in trading for the Houston quarterback. Watson's facing 22 civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. Given his talent, there's no surprise the number of teams interested is increasing, notes ESPN's Louis Riddick.
This is one of those young men who really can make the entire organization stronger in terms of his performance on the football field, in terms of both offensively and defensively, and even special teams. He's that kind of force multiplier type of player. So any team that has any question about whether or not they have what it takes to compete, not only divisionally, but conference-wise, at the quarterback position, is going to go ahead and kick the tires on him.
Defensive end Randy Gregory agreed to a 5-year, $70 million contract with the Broncos after he agreed to a similar contract to return to the Cowboys. Braves signed newly acquired first baseman Matt Olson to an 8-year, $168 million contract, runs through the 2029 season.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
They get 3 first-round draft picks for him. Can you guarantee that you're going to be able to get a franchise quarterback? No, because if you get 3 first-round draft picks this year, there's not a franchise quarterback in the draft. Kyler Murray has been an MVP candidate. Like, he has lived up to the billing. Is he a great leader? No. He has to mature? Yes. But listen, name me 10 quarterbacks better than Kyler Murray in the league right now. It's hard to do, right? Aren't. He's 24 years old. He's a dual-threat quarterback. What is the Houston Texans going to get back in return that's better than that? They have their own first-round draft pick that's pretty damn high. So if you're able to go get a guy like Kyler Murray, and then if you're on the other side from Arizona, I'm looking at it like, okay, he's saying he's not going to play for $5 million, right? So, okay, he wants to try and dictate the terms to us. I'm going to get rid of him, and I'm going to bring a quarterback that's better.
Interesting take from Bart Scott on the whole Deshaun Watson and maybe Kyler Murray situation. Now, I have not heard that. I think he was just opining about a possibility. But that would be something. What about the Atlanta Falcons and Deshaun Watson? That is the hottest one going around here on a Tuesday. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz, Action Sports Jax Studios. Quick reminder, we have a lot of the NCAA basketball games, including the first 4 games tonight on ESPN 690. Casey and Brian Middleton will give you Action Sports Jax OT from 6 p.m. until 6:30. Then we pick up NCAA basketball coverage. So your home for the NCAA tournament this March and into early April is right here on ESPN 690. We'll have the other first 4 games tomorrow. And then on Thursday, what we'll do is we'll have the noontime games. And then that afternoon slate, will be our show. We're not ducking off for the NCAA games. But then at night, all NCAA basketball games right after our show from 3 to 6. Casey, jump in here. Are you guys doing Action Sports Jax overtime on Thursday as well?
Yeah, so we'll do it, like you just said, today, Wednesday as well from 6 to 6:30, and then on Thursday from 6 to 7. Not on Friday because I got to run out of here and head down to Bradenton. The Pirates were calling me. They need me to come to a spring training game on Saturday.
Like that.
So,
very good.
But today, tomorrow, and Thursday, you got me and Brian, whether you like it or not, 6 to 6:30, and then Thursday, 6 to 7.
Good stuff. I love it. I love it.
Casey, are you going to be on the mound or playing first base for them?
Yep.
Hey,
yep.
They could probably use you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Trash franchise. Yep.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
Yeah. Why? Tell us again. Why do you go to the Pirates one?
So I'm where I grew up is
spot.
I grew up in Palmetto, which is across the bridge from Bradenton, which is where the Pirates are, and we had season tickets for a very long time. We just recently got rid of them, so whenever spring training comes up, there's only one spot I really want to go, and that's old Lee Com Park in McKechnie Field in Bradenton, Florida.
That's cool.
Shout out to 941. Let's go.
And I know that area code, too, because Steph's parents have that. They go for 3 months down the Venice, Sarasota area. And that's where actually we're going to head down for the next couple of days. I'll do the radio from down there. And there's plenty to pick from. Like we went to the Yankees complex today. Creekside baseball team's playing a couple of games in Clearwater. And so we went over there today. And Travis Chapman, Bishop Kenny guy, Jacksonville guy, is now the first base coach for the New York Yankees, which was cool to see him do his thing. I might talk about him a little bit more in a moment, his story. But then if you go to, obviously you got Bradenton nearby and you got others nearby. But then you go down that Venice, Sarasota area. Is your Rays are down there in Port Charlotte. And then if you keep going a little bit further south, you go Minnesota and the Red Sox in Fort Myers. But now they just built the world champion Braves complexes in Sarasota. So I think it's Sarasota technically. I think it's in that city limits. And so I'm kind of wondering maybe I'll sneak over to one of those. And I'm thinking almost the Braves just to see the new complex might be the way to go.
Yeah, the Braves complex I've not been, but I've heard very good things that it's pretty nice. So, and I know a lot of people that have been down there already for practices and whatnot that have just started. So yeah, I think Braves is a spot, but honestly, all of those, the Pirates for a while were behind a lot of those complexes, but they put up the boardwalk and they did a lot of things to kind of keep track. But yeah, the Orioles are down there and the Rays, the Red Sox, all newer facilities that are really nice as well.
Austin, have you ever been to a spring training game?
I have not.
Man, you got to go do it. You got to do it. Like it would be like I feel like it's a good fit for you. I know, like you're a lifestyle guy. You're like a Jax Beach guy.
I am.
And the berm in a spring training game is that lifestyle.
Okay.
Like you don't have to think baseball. It's like I got to get people off like the Players Championship. You don't think golf.
Yeah.
Right. You know they like golf. You go to 16, 17, 18. And it's not golf, right? You've been there. You know that.
Sure.
And so, like, the berm is like going to Jax Beach.
Okay.
So you got to go to a game.
Yeah, but if it's not the Brewers, man, I don't,
But it has nothing to do with the baseball.
It doesn't matter who it's playing.
I know, but like I could just as well go to a Madison Mallards game back in Wisconsin and pay $20 for all you can drink in the duck blind. It's good. It's a good time. The Madison Mallards, they're a minor league team.
The duck blind?
Yeah, so you pay $20. They call it the duck blind. All you can drink, and
wow.
It's like up until like the 5th inning. Then you got to pay after.
When do they start the baseball season in Madison? Like June?
Pretty much, yeah. You think so, right? Yeah, they're not messing around.
Anyway, you got to get. You know what I miss the most? I will be honest with you. I miss the fact that they moved Washington out of Vieira, because Vieira was an easy drive from Jacksonville.
Right.
You're talking like door to door in 2 hours, and if you drove real fast, less, because their complex is right now. It's like the USSSA softball complex, I think. But
yeah, that's right.
I mean, I remember like Bryce Harper. I actually had something come up on Facebook the other day when the kids were little. We took them down, and Steven Strasburg they saw pitch in the spring training game, and I remember being in line with Harper's dad to get tickets because we actually knew through a friend like the trainer for the Nationals at the time, and so he put some tickets at will call, and so we were right behind like Bryce Harper's dad before Bryce Harper was like actually real Bryce Harper. He was just a prospect at the time that was still coveted, but man, that's what I miss Vieira because it's easy to get to. The other ones you got to take a hike to, and now obviously the Braves are even out of Orlando. So there's really nothing close to Jacksonville.
Yeah, there's really not, and that trip to West Palm is not super fun. So yeah, they kind of it's tough for Jacksonville, but Austin, I'm telling you, bro, you got to go. It has absolutely nothing to do with baseball. Like I won't know who's on the field.
Maybe we should just go
for the Pirates nor the Tigers.
It's just about drinking and being merry.
It's just a good time, You're out with the people, chilling, in the sun, as long as it doesn't rain. They are playing some baseball. Rumor has it there might be a foul ball your way, heads up type situation. But other than that, it's a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good time. We were over the Yankees a little bit earlier. I told you, man, Aaron Judge is so big.
Yeah.
So big.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Saw Stanton as well.
Also big.
He's big. Those two guys are so big. But, like, I saw Judge. Like, they're big. And the Yankees, if you look at their roster and their lineup, they're all big. Like, they look like a slow-pitch softball team.
A lot of big humans, yeah.
Right? And then you look at
those big guys.
Yeah, usually.
Slow pitch softball? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so then you got the little huddle, and they don't have the whole team, but they had like 15 guys in the huddle, and then I tweeted the picture, and Judge is on the left, and he's like a foot taller than everybody else, which he's not really, but it looks like he is.
Was Donaldson there?
Here's one thing I'll tell you. It's hard to tell who the heck anybody is outside of Judge and Stanton.
Well, yeah, because they're big.
Well, they're all big, but they all have like sweatshirts on. They don't have numbers.
Oh, true.
So they're all wearing Yankee sweatshirts, and I have no idea who anybody is. Like, I was looking for who's the new shortstop they just traded for?
Isaiah Carey Feller or whatever his name is.
Yeah, because we went and watched some of the infield work, too, because, Ty likes that, but also that's where Travis Chapman was working with. So the story on Chapman real quick, then we'll get to the Deshaun Watson stuff. He's an unbelievable story, in my opinion, because he's a Jacksonville guy, and people who know baseball around here will know Travis Chapman. Went to Bishop Kenny, went to Mississippi State, was a really good player, played in the minor leagues for like 6-7 years, I think it was. Got one at-bat, guys. I think I've told you the story before. One at-bat in the big leagues, I believe, with the Phillies. I think it was like a ground ball to third. But he basically got like the Field of Dreams at-bat.
Yeah.
That was it. One.
No, it's cool.
Like, really cool. So then he gets out, and I think he starts teaching at Nice. And so he teaches at Nice for, I think it's like 8 years or something. And he's actually, this is how we got to know him. Steph was teaching at Nice, and their classrooms were right next to each other. Meanwhile, at that time, like, I had no idea who Travis Chapman was, to be quite honest. We had just moved here. Well, then he leaves the classroom and starts working in the Yankees organization. And, we hear he's in our neighborhood. He lives in our neighborhood. And Steph knows him. I don't really know him. But so he starts making his way up a little bit. He's doing like instructional league. He did some single A ball stuff. He taught or instructed down in Puerto Rico. And, well, before you know it, this past December, he got a call from Aaron Boone. Wants him to be the first base coach.
Dang.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's an unbelievable story, really.
Very cool.
You know, and I think he's a very humble guy. Like, he probably would be mad if I tried to do a story on it. But, I mean, just think about that path. From Bishop Kenny to Mississippi State, who obviously is a defending national champs, and they've always been very good, to the big leagues for an at-bat, to through the classroom and teaching, to now he's like teaching base running today to Giancarlo Stanton.
That's awesome.
And he's throwing BP today to Aaron Judge.
Cool. That's insane, man.
It's a really great story. Wow. I mean, it's a really, really cool story. So anyway, I'll share that story as much as possible. And he's a super good dude, too. Really, really good guy. So that was fun to see him do his thing. And now I got to kind of root for the Yankees. I think I told you this. But I kind of got to root for him. Because Boone's done. Like, they're done if they don't win. And I don't want Chapman to lose his job. Now I want him to have a nice career in the big leagues.
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, even if they do lose, maybe he does such a great job, he gets an offer someplace else.
Yeah, that's true. But it'd probably be better if he did that for a few years with the Yankees and helped kind of fix them a little bit. Because you know what? He's heavy into the analytics. And this is one thing. And Casey, I'm not sure if you see this a lot. They measure everything now. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what he had today? He had a lot when he wasn't throwing BP or hitting fungos. He had like when they were fielding balls and also doing base running, he had an iPad out.
Yeah.
And so he would record the iPad, and boom, it would give him like instant, then he'd go talk to Judge or Stanton or you name your guy about, hey, yeah, you were like a step late on here. And I think there's even like metrics to everything they do as the ball's getting hit or all this. I mean, it's just amazing how many things are measured. Well, he's been a big part of that, like the analytics department in their Yankees organization. So it's a new game, man. It's a new game, but it's fun to – I was thinking of this today. Isn't it amazing that you could have thousands of people at the Yankees complex today watching people work at their job? Like, they were watching people work. They weren't, like, keeping score.
Right.
Sure.
Right? Like, we talk about this a little bit with Twitch, right? Don't people do that on Twitch sometimes? They're just like, they'll just watch people work at their office?
But that's what training camp is, though, too.
I know. Training camp is a lot like that. I was like, and that's what Steph said to me. I said, isn't this wild that this many people watch people work? And he said, well, she's like, yeah, but some jobs are more fun to watch people work.
That's a good point.
That is true.
It's a dang good point.
Yeah.
But
nobody's watching me work.
No, I know. Nah. It's kind of neat, though, to watch those guys work at the craft.
For sure.
And I guess opposed to everybody else. All right, I digress. Let's get back to football. Deshaun Watson, where's he going to end up? Do you think this Atlanta stuff's a real thing?
I definitely think it's a real thing. Just because, if you compare him with, Kyle Pitts and whoever else they have, it's not the worst combination. I think anybody in need of a quarterback is on the table here. The Colts got turned down, which I guess I'm not too surprised at that. And I'm also not surprised that they actually tried to go after him because he is that great. There's a rumor that San Fran was interested, and then they kind of squashed those rumors, even though I'm not quite sure if they really squashed him or if they're just trying to make Trey Lance happy. But he's the toast right now in terms of this quarterback class. Aaron Rodgers stays. Russell Wilson goes to Denver. Deshaun Watson is the next man up, and he might be the most intriguing man up because, he's the youngest, and he still has a lot of football ahead of him.
So the three hot teams, now, like you said, the Colts turned down, and we knew that would happen. That should happen. San Francisco, maybe, who knows? Maybe they are in play. He has turned down Seattle, according to a report. I think that was an accurate report that I saw, that he said no, go to Seattle because he's got no trade clause. So let's just take Carolina. Seems to be in the mix because I think he was interested in that throughout the last year. Atlanta, apparently the story is he reached out to them.
Yeah.
And it's not like they were pursuing, but they're going to okay, well, listen, right? And the Saints seem to be a front runner as well. Out of those three teams, given the fact that the Falcons did just give Matt Ryan $14-15 million like a few days ago, is Carolina still the most likely spot for Deshaun Watson in your estimation?
Ooh. The most likely in terms of, it working for both sides, yeah. But if I'm Deshaun Watson, I don't know. There's something just about Atlanta that I like.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just, reminding me of Mike Vick and everything. That they have that new stadium. Watson's got a certain amount of swag. Atlanta, that they have. It's a city of swag, really. To me, if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm taking a long, hard look at Atlanta. It's insane that the Saints are even in the conversation because, just a couple weeks ago they were, dead last in terms of salary cap being over, and now, they've restructured things and it's looking good. But I think with Alvin Kamara, we'll see what happens with that whole horror deal when he got arrested. There could be some drama there in New Orleans. So I would probably, if I'm Deshaun Watson, I'm taking a long, hard look at Atlanta, which means, then Matt Ryan probably goes to Indianapolis, and then the Colts win a Super Bowl. So there you go.
I think it's a very interesting thing to look at those three teams. Here's why. The Saints obviously are in a way, they feel like they're rebooting. Not necessarily resetting and starting over, but rebooting because Sean Payton's out and Drew Brees just left a couple years ago. They really don't have a quarterback. And so they could fix their quarterback woes, boom, just like that. You team them up with Alvin Kamara. Carolina, I think they've made some mega mistakes, quite frankly, not getting better quarterback play under Rule. I think they've had some opportunity. They've missed that opportunity. This would be a correction to their missed opportunity in my estimation. And although they've shopped and maybe will still shop McCaffrey, it is pretty interesting to think about McCaffrey and Deshaun Watson. Then you have Atlanta, who I think also should have gone after quarterback last year and tried to think about the future and move on from Matt Ryan soon enough, even though it comes with a heavy cap hit. But the best thing for their organization was to get the next quarterback, and I think this could be a reprieve for them and almost a second chance to do so. Yeah, did they get Kyle Pitts? Absolutely, got a very good player, it looks like. But I still think they could have gone quarterback last year and built toward the future, especially under a new coach in Arthur Smith. But now this could become really intriguing as well if you get Pitts and Watson to hook up with each other. Mm-hmm. So really fascinating with all those three teams if all of them are in the mix in a contender.
No, without a doubt. And you got to keep in mind, if, for instance, let's say the Falcons do get Deshaun Watson. Now, yeah, their offense, you got Kyle Pitts, wide receivers, could argue are a little lacking, especially now with Calvin Ridley being out. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name, who's their starting wide receiver. Starts with a Z and ends in an us, though. That's all I'm going to say. And then they have Taj Sharp's gone, too, because he's a free agent. Christian Blake and Frank Darby. So they're not going to knock your socks off at the wide receiver position. But if you get a guy like Deshaun Watson, a young guy who shows a lot of promise, if he can, if the legal stuff's all taken care of, well, then that's a great recruiting tool for free agents and players to go to Atlanta. Players want to play with a great quarterback. Receivers want to play with a great quarterback. Receivers want to win. Starts with the quarterback. So I think that a team that's kind of doesn't really know who they are, like they're trying to turn over a new leaf, but then you pay Matt Ryan, you have Kyle Pitts. Like, it's just a team that doesn't really have an identity of what they want to do, I feel like. If you get Deshaun Watson, well, that immediately increases your identity, and now you're playing for the win now, but you're also playing for the future with his age.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you guys this question. Think about it real fast. Who would you be most fascinated to see him with in the tandems I just listed? McCaffrey, Kamara, Pitts.
I mean, can I say Shanahan's offense in San Fran?
Yeah, but you don't think? But it sounds like that's not going to happen, right? Like that's less realistic.
Well, I just think, I mean, I don't know how realistic it is or not. I just think that the reports came out and Trey Lance's people might have got a hold of Shanahan and said, you better do something because my client's not happy, and they're underplaying it. Like, I think if San Fran has a chance to get Deshaun Watson, I think they're going to take that chance.
Yeah, well, and they could dangle Trey Lance.
Yeah.
So why not, right? Yep. I mean, listen, Casey, what about you on those three?
In the situations that you presented, assuming Christian McCaffrey's healthy, him, Deshaun Watson, and DJ Moore, I think could be pretty nasty.
Yeah. And by the way, they got pretty good defense, too. They've built some pretty good things, so they might be the most ready to do stuff. Saints are still a little kind of, I think, in flux, in my opinion. Atlanta, not sure they're there, especially in that division. We'll see. Here's what's fascinating to me about the San Fran part, or even, well, it's really, it goes back to San Fran and even Green Bay, Austin. Green Bay, I think, did, in many respects, what some teams should do, always think about the future at the quarterback position. I say this a lot. It is the most underdrafted position, in my opinion, because it's the most important. Yet people don't draft and try to get it right. Now, the Packers have had 30 years of it right, it seems, with Favre and then Rodgers. But I get what they were trying to do. Was it the right thing? No, in hindsight. And even in the present day, it probably wasn't right because you could have got him a weapon. But maybe a year later, it was the right idea. You know, they tried to think about the future. Well, San Francisco kind of did that too. And they kept Garoppolo around, and they think about the future with Lance. They even made a move up to go get Lance. So that's a nice aggressive play, thinking about down the road. And it's a bit fascinating to me that you can have a guy like Love now just sitting there. Nobody thinks it's going to be great anyway on the little small sample we've seen him, which probably is very unfair. But Rodgers is now keeping him on the bench or to a new team. And you could get this kind of situation where because now all of a sudden quarterbacks are moving like almost on a yearly basis, you get a Trey Lance who might never really play much for San Francisco if something were to go through. I think that's wild that these teams try to plan for the future, yet they may do an about-face and get rid of the guy that they planned on.
Yeah, I mean, I think every team is different. Like, for instance, the Green Bay Packers made a monumental mistake in drafting Jordan Love because, like you said, they were planning for the future. But the problem was that you're coming off an NFC championship game where you're a couple plays away, well, more than a couple plays away, but, you know, a few plays here, a few plays there from going to the Super Bowl. And here you turn around the next season and spend that first-round pick on the future quarterback. Like, it's one thing to plan for the future, but you can't plan for the future when you're in the moment right now going to NFC championship after NFC championship. You got to focus in the now moment. And the Packers didn't do that. So that was their mistake. I think with, you know, the 49ers, it was a little different because while they were a talented team and, you know, they made a little bit of a run, the writing was kind of on the wall for Jimmy Garoppolo eventually, right? Because you know what he can give you. I mean, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, you know, one of the best to ever do it compared to Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, there is a difference there. So I get the Trey Lance, you know, draft pick because he fits their offense even better, right? Like, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is the prototypical Kyle Shanahan quarterback if Kyle Shanahan had his way. Because Jimmy Garoppolo can't run. Like, he's not a threat at all. Kyle Shanahan's game was built on the read options and all that stuff, hence why Trey Lance came in. The whole Green Bay thing will forever baffle me because, okay, you got to find Aaron Rodgers' successor one day, and that's fine. But you got to go in an NFC Championships game. Why aren't you just trying to help him out and go to a Super Bowl and then worry about it later? Yeah,
really interesting quarterback. Do you guys think, real quick before we go to break, do you think we're going to – is this a never-ending cycle now of pretty good quarterbacks becoming available? Or is this just like feels like a 2-year thing?
Ooh. I I mean, I think, Josh Allen got a new one. Patrick Mahomes obviously tied up. Lamar Jack.
They're not going anywhere, right?
No,
Those two guys aren't going anywhere.
No.
But next year, I try to look ahead to next year. I'm like, is it possible Kyler Murray is on the move? I would say yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility for sure.
Right? Lamar Jackson, I think they're going to stand by him and be with him and give him a mega deal. I don't see that changing.
But, and listen, I love Kyler Murray like anybody, but, Murray's not to the point of an Aaron Rodgers, even Russell Wilson.
No, but it'll be a huge name, right?
Yeah, it'll be a big name. Absolutely.
It'll be a big name that would instantaneously go in and probably get a mega deal wherever he went.
More than likely.
So, I understand what you're saying. You're like, okay, Brent, this can't really happen all the time because you just don't always have.
Yeah, I mean,
from Brady to Rodgers to Russell.
Yeah, I don't see Dak Prescott going anywhere anytime soon.
But I'll even bring this up, Austin. I guess I don't mean it. We're talking about guys that were franchise quarterbacks, and I'll even put Carson Wentz in. Carson Wentz is on his third team in 3 years.
Sure.
And he's going to be the starting guy, And so, I mean, this really goes back to even when Foles got traded to Jacksonville from a start. I mean, that was a Super Bowl winning quarterback, So we've really seen a run on this, and I don't know, maybe it won't end. Are you surprised at all in any way, shape, or form if, Kirk Cousins got moved next year?
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, but that
they
fit
gave
that.
him some money. But
Yeah, that'd fit the window. That'd fit that kind of quarterback.
Yeah, but Kirk Cousins isn't Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. But, no, I know. I think I got to be a little more broad to be able to keep this as a never-ending story because, again, you're only getting 2 or 3, maybe a 4 Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers types.
Sure.
But when I say starting quarterbacks on the move, I mean, if you had a starting quarterback, man, you kept him and you held on to him for dear life.
Yeah, I mean, Stafford was that guy, but that was more of a situation where, they weren't going to win in Detroit with him, so you might as well get value by trading him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can see a couple guys like Derek Carr eventually. They seem to like him now, but. Yep. I think that there's always going to be a rotation just because there's always young guys coming out and there's always, the next big thing. So I definitely think there'll be a rotation, but not to the extent of the talent that we saw this year, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might be in a short window of time with the Russells, the Rodgers, and heck, even the Bradys. Brady, between his coming and going over these last couple of years, has been making that kind of noise in the news cycle. All right, let's take a break. We come back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We continue to talk about NFL free agency. And are the Jags done now? Somebody asked me that question today, and I said, yeah, I think they're done. I think they're done with the splash moves at least. I mean, heck, they made 6 of them.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be done, I think. Where else could they go? And do we know that they're going defensive end? I feel like we ask this every day. And then I see on my timeline people talking about Evan Neal still. Maurice Jones-Drew has Evan Neal coming to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Mojo, you out of your mind, man? I think you are. All the writing's on the wall for Hutchinson or Thibodeau. We'll talk about it on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Increasing clouds today, some afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms roll in. High temperatures beforehand in the mid to upper 70s. Lingering showers overnight down into the upper 50s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. A half carat to 10. Beard's Diamonds has the lowest prices guaranteed.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
If you've been involved in a slip and fall accident and are not sure what to do, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000, and take back control of your life.
Office in Jacksonville.
Hey, I'm Carrie.
And I'm Bruce. We're the owners of Koala Insulation. Don't let the milder temperatures lull you into complacency. Fuel prices will continue to rise, as will your utility bills. Call us today and take advantage of our fall prices. We don't quote over the phone or just poke our heads up in your attic. We do a full evaluation to include attic ventilation needs as well as insulation.
Give us a call at 904-679-6282 or online at koalainsulation.com.
It's that time of year we get to watch the best players in the world in our own backyard. Catch some of the Players' Championship fever with golf fever of your own. Save an extra $10 on the Dream 18 card this week at Action Sports Jax, dream18.com. Play a lot of golf, just don't pay full price to play a lot of golf. Order the 2022 Dream 18 card this week for just $59. Golf courses have raised their rates, so you can save a lot while you play with the Dream 18 card at courses like Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, The Yards, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker Sports, and a discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. This week, it's just $59 for the Dream 18 card. That's it. And some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com.
Inventory, and more inventory. You heard right. If you want over 500 amazing pre-owned, then you've got to get to Arlington Toyota. 100 used trucks, over 200 used SUVs. That's rows and rows of amazing pre-owned selection ready to test drive at Arlington. Plus, with Arlington's 30-day exchange program, you get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for the full selling price toward another vehicle. If you want inventory, then come and get it at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com today. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/March for details.
Join the movement to end colon cancer. The annual March to Get Screened 5K is coming up on March 27th. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Portland Groover Foundation to advance colon cancer research, provide free screenings, and financial assistance. Colon cancer is actually preventable with regular colon screenings. Hundreds of lives have been saved due to the support of our community and the March to Get Screened 5K. Bring the family and join us in downtown Jacksonville on March 27th. To register, donate, or for more information, go to marchtogetscreened.com.
I need 4 more of the brisket carnitas, 2 burnt end platters, 3...
The kitchen at Kai's Barbecue is firing on all cylinders.
Greg, help me bring these to the pickup counter.
He needs food runners who can hit the ground quickly.
86 on the chicken and we're short-staffed. Let's pick it up.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Millions of people use Zoom Phone, the innovative and feature-rich cloud phone system for businesses of any size. Zoom Phone is simple to use, whether you're on a mobile device, desktop, laptop, or desk phone. And because every call is important to your business, Zoom Phone was built with reliability in mind, using geographic redundancy to keep your communications online. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Visit zoom.com/phone system. Zoom, how the world connects.
Your happiest spring starts with Lowe's, and it all starts with a beautiful green lawn. Get it growing with Scott's Triple Action Lawn Fertilizer, starting at $29.98. And keep it clean with the Craftsman 20-volt mower with free blower for only $2.99. That's a big value for a beautiful entrance. Create a season full of happiness. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, about 310 through 316. U.S. only. Scott's offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Whether on your radio, on your phone, or your smart speaker.
Now playing ESPN Radio.
He's seen guys that's not even going to make the team. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards in a game.
Wake up with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
you created this situation after the mess that was the 2021 season. Because I don't know that expectations could have been higher for the Cleveland Browns going into that season after they had won a playoff game. They beat the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost last second in Arrowhead to the Kansas City Chiefs that went on to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. And so in 2021, this was supposed to be the year that Baker Mayfield and the Browns ascended to the Final Four, to the title contention rounds, and they absolutely fell flat on their face. Now, we can put that on the injury that Baker had to his throwing shoulder, but also we started to see some cracks when it came to the leadership aspect of Baker Mayfield's game.
Baker Mayfield, an interesting one as you look at the quarterback situation around the NFL. We were just talking about it, who could go certain places. I thought Cleveland might be a dark horse to get Deshaun Watson, Austin. I'm not so sure about that anymore. I thought they might make a play. I thought maybe that was a little bit involved with the Amari Cooper stuff, but I don't think so. I think they're just going on with Baker, and they got Amari Cooper to offset the losses of players like Landry and OBJ.
Yeah, the Baker Mayfield thing it's wild because we see the optics on the field, and we hear about it, and, it's pretty bad from what we understand. And then, sometimes you hear what his teammates got to say, and, they always have his back, So I'm sure that the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. He did have a lot of injuries last year. Not saying that's an excuse or not, but it is what it is. It's one of those things where I think they're on the fence about Baker Mayfield, as they should be, because his performance on the field, he's shown some good and he's shown some bad. I think if a better opportunity comes by, regardless of where you drafted him, regardless of how much money you're tied to him, if you can upgrade that position, then you upgrade that position. So if Deshaun Watson, is available, then I definitely see them making a play. It's just the fact of they may like Baker Mayfield too much. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a possibility of that, and sticking by him, and we'll see. He's going to have a prove-it year, I would imagine, and a show-me year for the Cleveland Browns. Quarterback situations all over the NFL are just it seems almost so volatile. I kind of like it. At least here in Jacksonville, we know Trevor Lawrence is the guy moving forward for now. It also, you hope that he gets to the point where you wonder if he'll be here for a long time, because you have to wonder that. But that also is a bit scary down the road, because it used to be get your franchise quarterback and you got him for 12 years. I'm not sure I feel that way anymore. It's not locked in.
I will take that all day if it's
Me too.
Man, he's pretty good. Hopefully he sticks around, as opposed to,
Yeah, go find me another one,
exactly.
Right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd rather have him, be the guy and have a risk of leaving than him not being the guy, and then we're back to square one again.
Yeah, absolutely. Brent Martin along with Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz here on a Tuesday. It's really been a lot of fun with the free agency in the NFL, and a lot of fun because the Jags have been a big part of it. I've enjoyed this for watching the Jags kind of try to get better and really make a swing at trying to get better. I think they do have some good players on their team, by the way. It's not void of good players. Not enough, and they added a few more, and hopefully some of these blossom, and they're the right moves. I've said all along, Austin, the Jags needed about 5 or 8 good decisions, like really good decisions, to turn this around. Doug Peterson was the starting point of that. This is the next phase. I'm not sure I put Cam Robinson decision in that pile, although you might. But if you take Cam and you take these 6 moves, so that's 7 moves, 7 bigger moves.
Mm-hmm.
How many are can I put in the pile of, I think that's a good decision?
Ooh, okay. So, let's start from the beginning. Tendering Wingard, okay. We'll see.
It became official today.
We'll see. Oh, yeah, it became official?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Listen, I think Aluakon is obviously a great decision. Right, because a young guy, a lot of speed, a lot of upside there, hasn't probably even reached his full potential yet. So I like Aluakon. Fatukasi is, I do like it because, number one, it shows me what you're trying to do on defense, which, okay, I appreciate the heads up. I appreciate the tip. And also, this guy is a run stuffer, which means he brings an attitude to the locker room, because anybody that's great at stopping the run has an attitude. It's just it goes hand in hand. So I like that one. The Christian Kirk signing, obviously you overpaid for him. Anybody's going to tell you that. But he does upgrade your wide receiver room. So it helps out Trevor Lawrence. So how can I not like that? I get the Evan Ingram one. A lot of drops, a lot of underachieving in New York. May have overpaid just a little bit, even though it's a prove-it deal. Once again, a weapon for Trevor Lawrence, so I like that one. Who am I missing here? Oh, the Zay Jones. The Zay Jones, it depends how Peterson sees him. Because, like, I see a guy like Zay Jones, and it's like, okay, you're probably going to have to compete with Marvin Jones. And I don't know if he can beat out Marvin Jones. Like, I really don't know, like, in what realm the Jaguars are going to use a Zay Jones. Now, he's got speed, so put him on the outside. Okay, so be it. For what you paid him, though, when it could have went to DJ Chark, that's probably the one where I'm not saying it's a bad thing because, once again, a weapon for Trevor Lawrence, but it's probably one I would have went, did you have to pay him that much?
Yeah. I can't confidently put Zay Jones in that bucket, if I'm being honest. I think Fatukasi kind of fits that for me, too. I agree with you. The linebacker move is one where if you look statistically, if you look what he brings to the table, if you look, here's one facet of this that I think the Jags needed to upgrade in a major way, Austin. And I've said this for a couple of different, probably for months, toward the end of the season and right after the season. I think they needed to get better football IQ-wise. They just signed a guy from Yale.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, doesn't always fit, but I got to believe that fits pretty nicely from a football IQ standpoint. So I put him in that pile too. See, I think Scherf is an upgrade, a blue chip guy. I know you're not going to have him for 10 years, but I think Scherf is a blue chip guy, and I think you need more of those. So I will put those two in there. And honestly, if I want to put Kirk in that, but I can't tell you that was a great decision yet. So I think I put Peterson in that decision. I think I put Scherf in that bucket. I think I put linebacker in that bucket. And these names are still not rolling off the top of my tongue, by the way. And I think, who else? I think I put Engram in that bucket. So I think they're up to like 4. I think you need 6 to 8. Yeah. And now that leaves the draft where you've got to make the right call at number 1, the right call at number 33, and maybe you get lucky beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, so is the Kirk? So to you, is the Kirk thing? It's more about the money that you paid him, right? Or like what makes you question the Christian
It's not
Kirk?
about the money.
Okay,
it's not about the money. I asked this question yesterday, and I can't. If I'm being honest with myself, well, I me, Sunshine and Rainbows Club. I'm positive about it. I like the move, but I can't concretely tell you that he's changing their offense. By adding him. If you had put, like we had this discussion, if you put Amari Cooper here on this team, I would have said, oh, yeah, changed your offense.
Absolutely.
Christian Kirk, I don't know if I feel that way. I could see how it would, how it could. I can buy into the upside. But I can't sit here and tell you that yet. Now, if I ask the same question in September or October and we're seeing the results and we're like, okay, slide him into that bucket, the Jags made another good decision. That's fair enough. But I just don't know if I can sit here and do that right now. I like what they did in the middle of the defense. I like what they did with Scherf. He's a blue chip kind of player. We don't have enough of those in Jacksonville. And I really like adding Engram. It takes the pressure off you from a situation in the draft. It adds to a tight end room that now you tell me, Dan Arnold, what I saw in Engram. I kind of like that all of a sudden. But they went from really bad to, I think I like that.
Yeah, but let me ask you this, though. With Evan Engram, though, I mean, isn't kind of the Christian Kirk effect where – you haven't
need to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you need to see more from Evan Engram?
I probably do, Austin, but I think based on what else I could have got there, I think that was the best decision they could have made.
Okay.
Okay? And maybe a little of this is semantics here, but I can't tell you for sure Christian Kirk was the best decision they could have made. Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, I think you could make the case those guys could have been better decisions.
Oh, absolutely, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think I think that way. Listen, the top flight guys, some of them were kept and franchised at tight end. I think of all the guys we mentioned yesterday back on the board at tight end or drafting, I think Engram was a great way to go.
Okay.
I got really excited about that move. I think that's a good move for this football team. So I'm going to put it in that bucket. And so that would give me 4 moves. I'm not putting the Cam Robinson move. I don't really fully still 100% get it. And now you just hope you make 2 good draft picks. And then a guy like – so if I'm up to 6 in that respect, if you get 2 good draft picks at 1 and 33, well, then maybe the Kirk move turns into number 7 in that bucket. Mm-hmm. And so, again, this is really my belief here in my philosophy and theory is that if they could make 6 to 8 good decisions in a couple of month period from hiring the coach all the way through the draft, I think you have a real good chance to start to flip this thing and turn it in the right direction. These are not 6 to 8 moves that are going to get you to the Super Bowl, but I think it's a good starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, overall in free agency, once again, did you spend a lot of money? Absolutely. Could this come back to bite you 3 or 4 years down the line? You better believe it. But the way it looks right now, you have 5 or 6 new starters on this team. So that's all you can really ask of. Now, the key is you have to couple that with a successful draft. And that's something where, if we look at the history, you should probably be a little nervous on, because in terms of drafting, the Jaguars haven't done a great job of that. They've had a couple guys fall to them here and there, and then they've made the right decision because, well, it was a no-brainer. But they have to hit on that first pick. They hit on number 33, because I don't want to see it like last year where, you drafted a second-round guy, a third-round guy. It's like, yeah, we're going to play him eventually here. We'll see what happens. Your first-round pick has to be a bona fide starter. Your second-round pick has to be a bona fide starter. And more than likely, your third-round pick better contribute day one.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, my philosophy and theory on this is that if you're already a pretty good team, you probably have to make 2 or 3, maybe even 4 good decisions each offseason to stay good and then be a good competitor in the playoffs and maybe a Super Bowl contender. I think if you're trying to flip it, listen, we could sit here and say you need 12 good decisions, but that's unrealistic. I think you need 6 to 8 good decisions to start to turn it in the right direction. The Jags have failed miserably on that front. Go back to last year and look at their decision-making. They didn't play big in free agency. They made the wrong hire at head coach. We don't know enough about the draft. Thankfully, Trevor is one of their good decisions because, well, they had to make that decision. Turned out ETN, we don't know if that's still a good decision. I think Tyson Campbell was a good decision because I think he's a good player. But beyond that, we don't really know. So if you go back to last year and you start looking around, you're like, okay, I think they made 3 good decisions to help turn it around. Well, one of them was the head coach that they didn't make a good decision. Yeah. That trumps everything. So if this is the right coach and it starts there, and then you just added a few pieces, and now we're up to 4 good decisions, and we can argue maybe it's 5 or even 6 if you really like it. And then you make 2 or 3 more in the draft. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. And by the way, I also don't think you offset it with any terrible decisions. See, I don't think the Myles Jack move is a terrible decision.
What about retaining Trent Baalke?
Well, fair enough, but he helped make these good decisions we're talking about this weekend.
No, I'm saying, but I mean, if you count against Urban Meyer, you could probably count against Baalke right now. I mean,
you could, but if we like some of the decisions he's making, maybe that ends up going in the bucket of not a bad decision to keep him.
Possibly. Or if Doug Peterson, once again, the collaboration was Doug Peterson heavy as well.
I mean, the bottom line is Urban proved to be a terrible decision.
Of course.
And he set back the organization. If Baalke makes a lot of crappy picks, well, then he does the same.
Yeah.
But Peterson, at least we feel like, might be able to offset that, and that's why I think we're high on the Peterson decision as of right now.
Yep.
So, it's a more how do we feel, how do we project, how do we look. We'll really have the answer to this sometime in November, for sure. And wins and losses, by the way, will add up to that too. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Here at ESPN 690, Brent and Austin have become addicted to sports cards.
Jamar Chase, season's greetings, autograph, 2 of 3. I'm banging, bang, 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 bang. Tony Montana, Tony Montana, bang.
That was our best moment.
Dude,
that was our moment.
Join the addiction weekdays from 3 to 6 right here on ESPN 690.
With spring dealing with 2.9% APR on the award-winning 2022 Acura RDX crossover SUV. And now is the time to trade. Get top dollar and pile on the savings. FirstCoastAcuraDealers.com.
Excludes PMC edition.
It's that time of year we get to watch the best players in the world in our own backyard. Catch some of the Players' Championship fever with golf fever of your own. Save an extra $10 on the Dream 18 card this week at Action Sports Jax, Dream18.com. Play a lot of golf, just don't pay full price to play a lot of golf. Order the 2022 Dream 18 card this week for just $59. Golf courses have raised their rates, so you can save a lot while you play with the Dream 18 card at courses like Golf Club at Southampton, St. John's Golf and Country Club, Hidden Hills, Osprey Cove, The Yards, Amelia River Golf Club, Eagle Landing, Fleming Island Golf Club, and Queens Harbor Yacht and Country Club. Plus, you'll receive a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free hat from Dome Hats, a free shirt at Baker Sports. In addition discount on a purchase at Palm Beach Autographs. This week, it's just $59 for the Dream 18 card. That's it. And some of the proceeds go to the Dream 18 charity as well. Buy the card at Action Sports Jax, dream18.com.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, there is a nice piece of stock music playing behind me that a talented composer worked really hard on. So let's enjoy it. Wow, almost overshadows the saving big when you switch to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Straight Talk Wireless now has the new iPhone 13 with cinematic mode, which lets you focus on what matters. And with Straight Talk, you can focus on getting the best deal. Our Silver Unlimited plan is just $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. And it runs on the largest, most dependable networks, now with nationwide 5G. With the iPhone 13 on Straight Talk, you can share whatever you want, wherever you want. Straight Talk Wireless. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
This is Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding. With home values at an all-time high, it's a great time to turn your home equity into the cash you need. Plus, get a closing cost credit. Visit rpfunding.com for details.
Terms and conditions apply. Unless 7168 equal housing.
The Big Ten is up, and you know what that means. Get ready, get set, go to Arlington Toyota for the Ready, Set, Go event going on now. Leave it to our friends over at Arlington to have over 500 new Toyotas available with inventory arriving daily. You also get a lifetime warranty plus 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. And with 4.7 out of 5 stars and over 14,000 Google reviews, you know you'll be one happy customer. Don't wait. Shop the Ready, Set, Go event in Arlington's state-of-the-art showroom or online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
My leg was painful, red, and swollen just doing the crossword puzzle. I could have put off telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
He told his doctor and found out his leg pain, swelling, and redness are deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to the lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. If you have one or more of these symptoms, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 7730 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 7730. Enjoy.
Hey, it's Brett Morton from Action Sports Jax. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jax on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jax. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Hey, welcome back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Last segment for me. We moved up a little baseball game out here in Clearwater because of some rain coming in. So 5 p.m. start. Thanks for taking it the rest of the way with football at 5. Austin Lane, Casey Kurtz. Do want to mention our ESPN 690 Female Athlete of the Week winner. More than 1,400 votes last week. Piper Young from Baldwin. I've seen her pitch. She's a very good pitcher, off to a nice start in the 2022 season for the pitcher and hitter at Baldwin for the Indians. So congratulations to Piper, everybody who voted for her. We'll have a new set of nominees up tomorrow and run it through Sunday evening for our ESPN 690 Female Athlete of the Week, something we're doing in the month of March to recognize Women in History Month. And we'll be doing that for the next few weeks. So you can go to ESPN690.com, not only to vote, but also to nominate a female athlete. So please do that. Nominate an athlete at ESPN690.com. Speaking of some softball, too, good time to mention the Swoop Minute in the UNF Ospreys. They had won 13 in a row on the softball diamond, and they did lose to Florida Gulf Coast on Monday to have that streak snapped. But they are off to a terrific start for the UNF Ospreys, one of the best in school history. And they are actually top 5 in the country in earned run average coming into the week. So how about that? I mean, we're talking like Oklahoma and other schools. That's where they're at. They had 9 out of 10 wins were by shutout at one time. What a stretch that is. And they have 3 different pitchers doing it. It's not just one pitcher carrying the load. So check out more about the UNF softball team at UNFospreys.com. I think the baseball team right now is playing, actually trying to beat the rain. I guess there's some rain in Jacksonville that they're trying to get that game in. The softball team will play a couple of games tomorrow at home, and then they play on the weekend as well if you want to check them out. All things UNF Ospreys, UNFospreys.com, news, schedules, results, and how you can get tickets as well. A lot of spring sports in action right now. And since we're pumping just about everything up, I want to remind you we've got the first 4 games tonight on ESPN 690, and on ESPN690.com we've got our bracket challenge. You can win $1 million if you've got a perfect bracket. You can't win if you don't play, Austin. Have you put your bracket in yet?
Not yet, man. I always wait till Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
Yep.
I got to be honest with you. I've done a poor job of studying. I got some studying to do. That Monday Players threw everything off for me.
Yeah.
So
here come the excuses.
Well, it is. I mean, right now, that's not an excuse. I'll get it in.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. Casey's already got. All right. Where do you guys fall on the? Can you do multiple brackets, or are you like a one bracket guy?
Oh, no. It's just a one bracket. Come on now.
Casey, I know you do multiple brackets.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm saying for the contest, though.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just
saying. Oh,
yeah.
Just one for contest. But I have a couple. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll end up. I mean, why would you put just one bracket in? Put a couple brackets in. If you've got different things going on.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about this time of year is like you never used to be able to talk about like pools and stuff. And now you kind of can.
Oh, yeah, because everyone's doing it.
Everybody's doing it.
Let's not be so naive. Of course we're talking about it.
You used to think like you'd get arrested if like you mentioned the word.
Sure. Not in this show.
Not in this show, not any show.
Yeah.
The people doing the arresting have their own pool.
That's true.
At least they better. But anyway, we got a lot of college basketball. We are your home for March Madness here on ESPN 690. Couple games tonight, couple games tomorrow. Don't forget Action Sports Jax OT leading into that right after our show with Brian and Casey as well. All right, guys, take it from here. More football talk coming up. We'll see you back here from the west coast of Florida coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We'll be back on ESPN 690.
All offers are with approved credit and not a conjunction. See dealer for complete details. It's Ram Truck Month, and we're ready to order a brand new pickup just the way you want it at a price you will love. From Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Arlington. Finance rates are still some of the lowest in years. Hurry in. Now is the time to save. Our lenders are ready to make you a new car loan today. Experience the Arlington difference. No hassle, no haggle, just great service you can count on. Jacksonville, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Arlington. 9600 Atlantic Boulevard.
Hi, I'm Pauline Savigny, owner of Grace Aerospace and a hyper-connected mentoring graduate of the Jacksonville Women's Business Center. Being a member of Jack's Chamber and involved with JWBC has provided me with many great new relationships. Success doesn't come without strong support, and the people of JWBC have provided exactly that. JWBC furthers my confidence in that deliverance by providing a strong group of women business leaders to connect with, learn from, and lean on. For more information, visit jackschamberfoundation.org.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't Safe Touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what Safe Touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And Safe Touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the Safe Touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the Safe Touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the 2-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Do you know a child who is deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired? The Florida School for the Deaf and Blind in St. Augustine offers a tuition-free educational program to prepare the child for a lifetime of success. FSDB offers free comprehensive education, transportation, and boarding services at no cost to all eligible deaf or blind students, elementary through high school, no matter where the student lives in Florida. Call 800-344-3737 or log on to www.fsdbk12.org to learn more.
People often ask me, how much money do I have to pay you up front to be my personal lawyer? The answer is nothing. It's free unless we win. What about a slip and fall or car crash case? Free unless we win.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
In 2022, with the launch of our new Mamba Forever flavor, Body Armor will officially partner with the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. Together, we'll support youth sports in communities all across the nation, providing resources, guidance, and Body Armor hydration. You can find the Mamba Forever flavor as well as other Body Armor flavors at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, ESPN's Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen reporting the Falcons have emerged as a sleeper team to acquire Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. They join the Panthers, Saints, and Browns as teams that have met with or are interested in trading for Watson. He's facing 22 civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and inappropriate behavior. Defensive end Randy Gregory agreed to a 5-year, $70 million deal with the Broncos hours after he agreed to a similar contract to return to the Cowboys. Dallas now looks to replace Gregory's production, explains ESPN's Dan Graziano.
Zadarius Smith got cut by the Packers yesterday. Von Miller has Texas roots. Chandler Jones is still, you can get guys. The Cowboys don't like to go outside their building and spend on other people's free agents because they like to pay and retain their own. But in this case, they weren't able to do that.
Gregory is the second impact defensive free agent added by Denver during the free agent negotiating period, along with 49ers tackle DJ Jones. The Ravens and safety Marcus Williams agreed on a 5-year, $70 million contract. The Braves signed newly acquired first baseman Matt Olson to an 8-year, $168 million deal.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
You don't get opportunities to get quarterbacks like this in the prime of their careers. And that's why there is such a market for Deshaun Watson, even with some things that are unpredictable happening outside of football. This is a dude that we watched on a team in the Houston Texans that was a dysfunctional organization, and he continued to play at a high level each and every week. And that's the film that these other teams are watching. They believe they become contenders.
Playoff team.
They believe they become contenders if they have Deshaun Watson. And so if you are the Atlanta Falcons, if you are the New Orleans Saints, if you are the Carolina Panthers, you are putting together whatever package you can to get this man on your team.
Ooh. I'm drawing a blank, Casey. Who you got for me?
Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark. That's right. Okay. You know, the thing about this Deshaun Watson scenario that I've been keep on going over my head a little bit in terms of where he's going to go. Who do you think has more power right now, Casey, with this trade scenario? Do you think Deshaun Watson and his no trade clause saying, well, I can essentially go where I want to go? Or is it the Houston Texans saying, yeah, you can go wherever you want to go, but we're going to make sure it's the right fit for us? And I guess what I'm getting at here is, for instance, the Seahawks. Deshaun Watson said, no, I don't want to go here. But let's say that the Seahawks offered him like the farm, or offered the Houston Texans the farm to try to get Deshaun Watson. I mean, at what point do you say, okay, we'll take a little bit of a discount to get Deshaun Watson off our books, but we still have to do right by us? Do you get what I'm kind of saying here?
Yeah.
Who do you think has more power right now?
So I think it's Deshaun, because we haven't seen that move where like disgruntled player gets traded somewhere he doesn't want to go. Like it usually works out for the player, I guess is what I'm saying. So I guess in terms of like the AFC South, like the Texans are probably going to reign control of that. But otherwise, I think Deshaun has most of the power because in theory, I guess he could just not show up.
No, it's not a bad call. I'm trying to think of like the last time a star player got traded to where he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Like, because obviously Jalen, he didn't say I want to go to the Rams, but they didn't trade him to like the Rams are a good spot,
Le'Veon Bell sticks out to me a little bit, but I think he was more about the money for him.
Yeah.
And the Jets paid him the money.
Right.
So like, I'm not sure how upset he was to go to the New York Jets. Now, in retrospect, it kind of killed your career a little bit. You probably would have been better staying in Pittsburgh than going to New York, but he got paid, so it is what it is. Yeah, it's not a bad call where, and I can't believe I was so naive to the fact. Yeah, players kind of get to pick and choose where they want to go, especially when you have a no trade clause. People are saying at the end of the week, Deshaun Watson will make a decision, and then hopefully, they'll get the trade done accordingly. When let's say it's Friday, Saturday, or maybe we're starting the show off on Monday, who was Deshaun Watson playing for, Casey? If you had to put the chips down on one team right now, where is he going?
Yeah, I would say, I hope Brian Middleton's not listening because I don't want him to believe he's right, but I think the Carolina Panthers have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson has the Carolina thing going for him. Obviously, Clemson and the Panthers are nowhere near each other, but I'm just going to put that together. I think they have a lot to offer. I think Matt Rule has a lot to lose if he doesn't pull off this move and doesn't get a quarterback, because then he's probably done. So I'll go with the Carolina Panthers.
And for some reason, I'm kind of leaning towards that as well, even though I'd rather see him go to, like Atlanta, I think. For whatever reason, I like Atlanta more than Carolina. But I agree with you, Casey. I think because Carolina's kind of been the constant team that's been mentioned throughout this entire process, right? Like even before he said he wanted out and before he got in trouble, like, it seems like Carolina was always kind of on the radar. And if you look at that team, and yeah, we'll see with Christian McCaffrey how much he can bring to the table. Chuba Hubbard, the backup. I mean, DJ Moore, super underrated, is a star. It's just, he played an offense last year. No disrespect to you and your boy, but Sam Darnold wasn't getting the job done.
He wasn't.
You have Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall Jr., a guy who they seem to like a lot, a young dude, up and coming. So, yeah, there is a lot to like, and their defense, I think, was a top 3 last year. Very underrated in terms of team defense. So there is a lot to like there in Carolina. So I would probably agree with you here, where I would be surprised if it's somewhere other than Carolina. Now, like I said, if it was San Francisco, to me that's a no-brainer for Deshaun Watson, because the talent around you, the coach, nothing against Matt Rule, but like Shanahan just really seems to have, regardless of who the quarterback is, he gets the best out of them. And I can only imagine what a Deshaun Watson would do in that 49ers offense.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you're Houston, if the 49ers come calling, you can find a way to get Trey Lance, and that's a no-brainer, because when you look at Carolina, like, do you want Sam Darnold? Probably not.
Yeah.
Do you want P.J. Walker? Also no. And all these other teams, a lot of them don't have quarterbacks to offer. Do you really want Matt Ryan? Like, I guess you have to have somebody to play. I get that. But if San Francisco did come calling, you would have the opportunity to get a good young quarterback for your quarterback that won't play. So if I was the Texans in San Francisco call, I think it's a win-win-win for everybody in that situation, except me holding on to Trey Lance cards, who will go to Houston, his career will die. But yeah, I think if that happens, then yeah, I'd go ahead and just book the flight, pack the bags, we're out of here, figure it out, and I'm going to San Francisco if I'm Deshaun Watson.
Well, and this is the biggest thing too, if you're a Jaguars fan, of what Houston decides to do, is what do they get for Deshaun Watson? Because it's one thing if you get some draft picks, okay, fine. Go ahead and ride the arm of Davis Mills and let's see how that goes, right? Like, I'm not completely sold on Davis Mills yet. He had a hell of a rookie year.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But, like, is he the franchise guy for years and years to come? I'm still on the fence about that one. But, like, if they were to, and this would never happen because I don't think Atlanta would do this, but, like, if they trade Matt Ryan, to Houston for Deshaun Watson and then some draft capital, like, I'd be upset because now, well, you got a legit quarterback in Houston, right? Like, when this is all said and done, I hope we're talking about draft capital more than we're talking about, well, Houston might have got a quarterback now for the future, like a Trey Lance. For whatever reason, if it was really, a Matt Ryan. I mean, I think Carolina doesn't really have anybody that's going to scare you. I mean, the Saints, they're not going to go after Taysom Hill, so that doesn't really scare me.
Right.
And that's what the Jaguars have going for them more than anything right now, is that you're in a division where you have the Tennessee Titans, who are still the favorites, obviously, because they have, one of the best running backs to ever do it, and Ryan Tannehill is okay, but they're a solid team, a well-coached team. But then you have the Colts, who's their quarterback going to be? Still a big question mark.
Yeah.
Davis Mills, does he scare you? I mean, the numbers are a little bit scary, but Davis Mills does not scare me yet. So the Jaguars have the advantage right now where these teams are still trying to find their way a little bit, it seems like, in the dark of how are we going to plan for our future and who's our next quarterback going to be. Now, there's plenty of time left, and then the Colts can maybe finagle something. I don't know what it's going to be. Obviously, they wanted Deshaun Watson. The Texans shut that down, which I don't blame them. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen here in these next couple of weeks in terms of, number one, the Texans, if Davis Mills is truly going to be the guy, even though they've expressed that they love him, and then obviously the Indianapolis Colts as well, what their plan is going to be.
Yeah, the Colts are interesting, but I will say this about Davis Mills. If I'm Houston, you're not going to, okay, for Matt Ryan, I personally, if I'm Houston, would rather play Davis Mills than Matt Ryan.
And just go with the future and see what happens.
Yeah, because you really don't know what you have in Davis Mills. Like, you didn't put much around him, and he did okay when he was out there. There were some horrible moments, but there were also horrible moments for Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. So you saw horrible moments from all the rookie quarterbacks, but if it's Matt Ryan, you're not in win-now mode. Mm-hmm. Even with the Colts quarterbackless, you're not going to beat them in the division. You're certainly not better than Tennessee. And on paper, and now granted, I know they don't play on paper because we saw it twice last year, but you're worse than Jacksonville even with Matt Ryan. So if I'm Houston's brass, I would personally play Davis Mills over a guy like Matt Ryan because then you might figure out what you have.
No, that's not a bad point. I mean, Matt Ryan's best years are beyond him. It's as simple as that. And Davis Mills, while he maybe did come out of nowhere, was unsuspecting, had a hell of a rookie campaign, and Lovie Smith seems to, believe in him as well, as he said many times. So I guess I agree with you here, Casey, where Matt Ryan right now might be the better quarterback than Davis Mills, but where the Texans are, I mean, they're not in the run for the AFC South, I don't think, quite yet. So you might as well roll the dice with Davis Mills, see what you got, evaluate from there, and then go on. But like we said, if you get a shot at Trey Lance or something like that, well, then you got to pull the trigger.
Absolutely.
Even though Davis Mills at this point is more of a proven quarterback. Matt Cooper brings up an interesting point here on the feed I'm seeing. And I think it's kind of what a lot of people are saying in terms of who the Colts' next quarterback could be. I mean, if you're going to Vegas right now, and I haven't even seen the numbers, do you think Jimmy G is leading the, in terms of the favorite to go to the Colts?
It would make sense because he's the only real quarterback left that we know is probably not going to play for his current team. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that would make sense to me. I think we talk about Matt Ryan a lot. I think Matt Ryan would fit very well there. Do the Colts have the capital to get it done? Yeah, probably. I just said Matt Ryan wouldn't be good for Houston, but I think he'd be good in Indianapolis because it's a totally different situation.
No, I agree with that. I
agree that his best years are behind him, but he can probably still be what Indianapolis needs to be. Literally, Carson Wentz, just don't throw it to the other team as often. You just have to hand the ball off.
When we talk about, Matt Ryan versus Jimmy G, though, Casey, Matt Ryan, 36 years old. I get that. And I don't blame the Colts for getting rid of Carson Wentz. Okay. Like, I actually, now whether you should have gotten in the first place is obviously up for debate. But I love what Ballard said, where he's just like, hey, we're just going to keep on swinging until we find the right quarterback. I respect that because that's what it takes. Come hell or high water, you got to find your guy. And the Colts haven't had that guy since Andrew Luck. So I definitely get that. With Matt Ryan, though, do you get a little bit of a Phillip Rivers vibe where how many years can Matt Ryan give you where it's like, okay, you're going to find another quarterback again? You know, like at least with Jimmy Garoppolo, I can see him coming in, and Jimmy Garoppolo, 30 compared to Matt Ryan being 36. Garoppolo can come in and at least like maybe he's not as good as Matt Ryan is, but you know he's still got something left in the tank. I question how much Matt Ryan really has left.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I think Jimmy G should be the leader. And by the way, a couple of these guys are off the boards now, but even a couple weeks ago, Jimmy G was your favorite at plus 350 to be the quarterback for the Colts. But yeah, I think Jimmy G would be the number one, but Matt Ryan, I think, would not be a bad consolation prize. But no matter what, if you can get one of these guys without giving up a first-round pick, you have to then draft a quarterback. Like, it's such a weird thing to see a team that I don't think Carson Wentz was the answer. Yeah. I don't think anybody does. But a borderline playoff team gets rid of their quarterback, and now their current room is Sam Ehlinger and some empty chairs. So yeah, I think it's just fascinating. But, yeah, Jimmy G, wouldn't it be weird if the 49ers had no Jimmy G or Trey Lance? Like, what the heck is going on?
I mean, Casey, it's the quarterback position. What did we just talk about? Come hell or high water. If you get your guy, you get your guy. You know, I mean, I'm a big Trey Lance guy. I think he can be special. I think he's got a lot of the things that you look for now in the modern NFL quarterback. But the thing with Trey Lance is that we don't know. We haven't seen enough. If you're guaranteed Deshaun Watson, and I get it, he could be rusty after the year. You know, where is his mind? All that stuff. I don't care, man. You're talking about a guy who led the NFL in passing when he was playing. That means something. And if it costs, Trey Lance and 2 first-round picks, then so be it. I'm pulling that trigger all day because you're going to have some years, if he can stay healthy, with Deshaun Watson. And now all of a sudden you're talking about a Kyle Shanahan ran offense that opens the door to so many new possibilities that you couldn't do with Jimmy G, or maybe that you couldn't really do with Trey Lance just because, well, you have to grow him into that role, right? And Trey Lance is still young. So we'll see what happens with that. I want to change up topics here just a little bit in terms of free agency quick before we go to break here. The Jaguars have made a splash. Everybody knows it. Now it's a big splash. It's an expensive splash. Whether or not you agree with how much money they spent to get certain guys doesn't really matter, that they're here now, right? I mean, we can complain about the Christian Kirk deal. Doesn't matter. He's here now. The way you look at free agency so far, Casey, I'm going to read off some names here of some top guys that are still available. I understand that, they're getting close to the salary cap now, but, maybe a move with Brandon Linder here or something here, restructured here, and all of a sudden there is some cap room open. I want to just kind of run some names by you and see if any of these guys kind of get your attention of, could the Jaguars make a play for one of these players as well? Or do you want to see them at least attempt to get one of these guys, right? You ready to roll here?
I'm ready.
So these are some guys that are still available right now in free agency. Smith-Schuster.
No.
Justin Houston. Edge rusher.
Yeah, he's old though, right?
No, he's 33 years old.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, it's sad that we call that old, but
well, I was for some reason I was thinking like 36. I feel like he's been around forever.
Yeah.
But I keep tabs on that.
Okay, keep tabs on that. Let's go with Jerry Hughes, 34 in August.
I go with Houston over him, I think.
Okay. Brent mentioned him before, but Jarvis Landry.
I'm in the camp that I think Baker Mayfield's the problem, and I think Jarvis Landry could still be good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but where do you put him though?
Yeah,
if you bring him to Jacksonville.
Yeah, at this point with what you've already done, you can't.
Not gonna say Jameis Winston. You're fine. Calais Campbell.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go twice on Sunday with Calais Campbell.
Bring him back.
Yeah, I mean
36 in September.
Yeah, I mean the productivity is gonna be, it is what it is, but. I don't think anybody's going to be out there giving serious money to Calais Campbell to start and play multiple downs.
Yeah.
If you can get him out there in a good situation for him and what he means to the city, why not?
Well, and so this is the thing that they're saying about Calais Campbell. Last season, 1.5 sacks, 16 quarterback pressures, nowhere close to, some of his best numbers that he's put up. But it's also what you're getting, right? And number one, when it comes to defensive line, I don't care how many guys you bring in. Right, to me, it's the more the merrier. It's supposed to be a rotation. Mm-hmm. Doesn't even have to start as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, and in terms of what he can give you in the locker room, he's got history with this city. It's got to be at the right price though. You
Absolutely.
know, like you can't Christian Kirk overpay to get Calais Campbell.
Amen.
And then that's going to be a thing going forward. I think Christian Kirk overpay. Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, I'm interested because of what he did last year with Atlanta as a true running back, but then you know what you can get him outside or out of the backfield or lined up as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised still available. Maybe the price is too high because he had a good year. The asking price is high, but I'm interested.
I don't know what the market even looks like for a Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, I don't.
Right? I mean,
it's weird.
31 years old, wide receiver / running back. I mean, I just don't know because, like, I don't think running backs are getting, paid anyways these days. And he had a hell of a year. I don't know. He's definitely an anomaly. But, like, I see, like, what he did in Atlanta. And then I see, like, once Doug Peterson could get his hands on him and, like, he kind of be the gadget guy because I'm not sure how long Laviska's going to be here. There was some rumors out there, some speculation saying that Laviska might be on the trade block, which makes a lot of sense because you're starting to get a wide receiver room now in terms of wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 that's kind of full. And Laviska could be the odd man out. So if you can get something for him, I think that makes a lot of sense. So if you need a gadget guy, like, yeah, you got Agnew, but once again, how much is he going to be running in that offense in terms of just special teams? I think Patterson could be an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Gronkowski, I feel he's going back to Tampa. That it doesn't really matter. I think Darius Williams, did he sign with somebody?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Darius Williams. Rams.
Yeah, I mean.
We talked about him a lot on this show.
Anybody that is decent in the secondary, I think the Jags should at least consider. I think, obviously nothing's happened yet, but I feel like price would be too high.
Yeah.
In terms of what they've already done. But
especially for a guy you probably have to bring in as a slot corner, right? Because you have Shaq Griffin, you have Tyson Campbell.
Right.
So Williams has to be the slot guy. Yeah, it could be probably way too high. Melvin Ingram.
Yeah, what happened to this guy? Like, I feel like he was like a stud with the Chargers and then got cut and then has been like all over the place. But like, I think he still gets home a decent amount of times.
Yeah, so had, Pro Bowl years with the Chargers, goes to Pittsburgh, and then goes from Pittsburgh to Kansas City. In 9 games, had just a single sack and 11 quarterback pressures.
Interesting.
Playing 58% of the snaps in Kansas City. He's going to turn 33 in April.
Maybe it's more of a name.
See, I think this is a name, and this is a guy where if you're a team that's playoff bound, I think you can give him at a discount. I feel like if Jacksonville was to take him, you expect him to be the starter until further notice, until you get Hutchinson or something like that. But I just think in terms of the price to the performance, I would probably pass on him, even though it just seems like yesterday he was absolutely crushing it with the Chargers.
I'm saying.
Randy Gregory goes to Denver.
Yep.
Akeem Hicks.
Oh, big guy, right?
Big guy. Interior defense.
Yeah.
Stud in Chicago.
I'll go by what you say, and you can never have too many of them, and you want to rotate them in and out, so why not?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for him is he was hampered by a groin injury last year, and he's had a couple ankle injuries, so, injury history probably not the best for him. But, man, 32 years old, can play at a high level when healthy. But like I said, you can't have too many defensive linemen. This guy is super interesting because, and I get he underachieved last year for his team, and they ended up signing the other guy, but I see a lot to like with this dude. It's just a matter of could you make it work, and then if you do take this guy, does that change your draft speculations? Za'Darius Smith from the Packers.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting. Yeah, I don't know how you make that work. You probably have to get rid of guys like Malcolm Brown and whatnot, but
26 sacks in 2 seasons. In 2 seasons, yeah. For the Packers.
Isn't that more than all the Jags in the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, you bring him on this team, and he's immediately your most impactful pass rusher by far.
Yeah, and Josh Allen gets better, and you know what you're getting in terms of like Aiden Hutchinson. Like you think you know what you're getting, but do you really? You never really know with rookies. So yeah, I think if you can find a way to make that work, I'll sign up for that. You don't even have to convince me because then Josh Allen immediately gets better. Because the double team doesn't come to him, or the focus doesn't come to him. So I'm with that.
All right, let's get a couple more here, then we'll go to break here, Casey. Guy that's still on the market, Bobby Wagner. Not since you just got your guy from Atlanta. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. This guy's interesting. Casey Hayward Jr. He hasn't signed anywhere yet.
Yeah, my question would be, can he play? Is he usually a slot guy? I think he played a lot of outside.
So here's the thing. So started out as a slot in Green Bay.
Okay.
Goes to the Chargers, I believe, and then becomes an absolute – because in Green Bay, he was kind of a guy. Goes to the Chargers and plays an outside corner and becomes a stud. and then goes to the Raiders and was okay. You know, like he was very suitable. PFF projects that Hayward's going to receive a 1-year, $6.5 million contract on a prove-it deal possibly.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I'm with that all day as well. Yeah, and especially because we have the same agent, so I could, hopefully get some interviews from him.
Oh, there we go.
As well, so it helps everybody out. But, yeah, I think a guy, especially if you want to play the slot corner, absolutely. Tyrann Mathieu.
I mean, I want to say yes, but the price is going to be too high, and then you got to do something with Rayshon Jenkins, right?
Yeah.
So if you can, very good. I think he's very good. It's weird that the Chiefs aren't going to bring him back because I've heard that, but.
Well, then there's rumors going to New Orleans as well, but the New Orleans re-signed their guy, so he's not going there either.
I mean, it looks like he still plays at a high level. So
yes.
I feel like you have to be interested if you could make it work. And look, Rayshon Jenkins, you just paid him, but the coach that paid him is no longer employed.
All right, so I'm going to throw 2 more guys at you, then let's go ahead and go to break here, Casey.
All right.
Chandler Jones, it's a name that's getting thrown out a lot. Not really sure what the edge rushing market looks like right now in terms of a contract. Chandler Jones do anything for you?
How much more do you think it would cost for a guy like Chandler Jones than Zadarius Smith?
That's a great question. I mean, realistically, I think you're talking about at least maybe $2 to $3 million more a year for Chandler Jones and Zadarius Smith.
Then I'd rather have Zadarius Smith. I mean, look, Chandler Jones, he's been like 10.5 sacks last year, but like 3 of them came in one game. Like he's very hot and then he's very not. So I'm not going to be disappointed if they sign him, don't get me wrong, but if you're going to pay a premium for him and you can maybe get Zadarius Smith for cheaper, then I might go that route.
All right. And the last guy here I think could be the most interesting prospect because nobody really seems to talk about him in free agency, but he is available, and at one time he was very coveted. Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, I forgot about him.
See, as a lot of people have.
Yeah. To me, and I could very well be wrong, but.
Well, now keep in mind, in Cleveland, 9 sacks, 32 quarterback pressures in 14 games.
See, that's better than I thought, because what I was going to say is it's just a name to me. But, and in a weird way, he might be the cheapest of the group.
Oh, without a doubt. But keep in mind, playing across from Myles Garrett is going to make a difference as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think any pass rusher you can get makes Josh Allen better. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
So, why not?
All right.
I mean, I'm at least interested a little bit.
Well, see, I think you could justify moving some things around for Clowney, still draft Hutchinson, and then have some kind of combination of Josh Allen, Clowney, and then Hutch.
That'd be legit.
Yeah. Are we going to start calling him Hutch, you think, by the way?
Yeah.
Is that just going to happen?
We have to.
Like Starsky and Hutch? I like that. All right, more on ESPN 690 when we get back.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered rain and even a few thunderstorms as we head through this evening. Overnight, drying out a touch down to the mid to upper 50s. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies on Wednesday. Some midday and afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop Beard's Diamonds.
Sometimes you need an adjustment for that back or neck. Sometimes you need massage therapy for the same. Maybe you need a wellness consultation to protect from injury. You can do all of that and more at 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center. And it doesn't matter where you are in town. There's a 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center near you on the south side in St. Augustine and the newest location on the west side. If you've had personal injury due to an accident, look up 904chiro.com. If you need a wellness consultation, look up 904chiro.com. If you need massage therapy or an adjustment, look up 904chiro.com.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead. So you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
The legendary Acura Integra is back at your First Coast Acura dealers. Click or call to pre-order yours today. Supply is limited, so don't wait. Pre-order the next generation 2023 Integra at firstcoastacuradealers.com.
Tobacco-free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to smoke. I'll never come back to smoke. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
By now, you've heard all of our ads. America's largest injury law firm. It means that when you hire us, you get a legal army. When it comes to law, size matters. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
In times of fear, World Vision is there for the most vulnerable. For the last 70 years, we've been standing with kids and families through natural disasters, war, and disease, delivering life-saving aid and helping rebuild lives. And with every act of courage, faith, and love, we do more than just stop the spread of fear. We replace it with hope. Learn more at worldvision.org.
You know what's great about getting older? The toys are way cooler. Spring is here, and it's playtime. Yeah! And One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, has slash loan rates across the board on all the toys. Motorcycles, jet skis, boats, RVs, ATVs, even golf carts. And it's fun and potentially dangerous. One-to-One Financial has the perfect loan to help you finance it. Check out our rock bottom rates and apply now at one-to-onefcu.org. Come out and play. Federally insured by NCUA.
Progressive Snapshot can save you money based on how you drive and how much you drive. So the safer you drive, the more money you could save. Now, if you didn't hear that because you were looking at your phone while driving, let me say it again. Seriously, put down your phone. That is so unsafe. If you didn't do stuff like use your phone while driving, you could save money with Progressive Snapshot. But saving or not, just put it down. And if you did hear it the first time because you weren't looking at your phone, nice work. You'd love Snapshot from Progressive because it rewards safe drivers. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California and North Carolina or from all agents.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle squeals or grinds when you slow down or just isn't stopping like it used to, you may need new brake rotors and pads. Now through May 24th at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore safe braking and save money now at O'Reilly Auto Parts or order online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You can unlock more cash than you realize from your home's equity with a cash-out refinance today. In the last year, average home values have gone up nearly 20%. And with Rocket Mortgage, you can unlock thousands in less than 3 weeks. But you've got to act right now before rates go up. So when you're looking to unlock the cash in your home, Rocket can. Call 833-8-ROCKET today or go to rocketmortgage.com to get started.
Rocket. Rates current as of 12/12/21. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Call 800-490-1233 for disclosures and cost information.
Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jax. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
Oh, man. The legend Scott Hall We're going to talk about him in a second. Welcome back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Austin Lane here holding down the fort. Brent Martineau on a little vacay, but also checking out some baseball. I think Ty's playing tonight, right?
Yeah.
Ty's playing tonight, so, Brent's checking him out. We got Casey pushing all the right buttons. If you know anything about wrestling, well, if you know anything about Brent being gone, you know that's the time I talk wrestling. And unfortunately, while I do enjoy talking about it, one of my favorite things to do, it's on more of a somber level today because the world of professional wrestling lost a great one in Scott Hall, a.k.a. Razor Ramon. And that was a little soundbite of his Hall of Fame speech when he got inducted. And he was known as the bad guy. And it always sucks, when the people that you grew up with, pass away, because it starts to show you just how much time can fly and just how fast sometimes things go. And, Scott Hall passing is one of those things. I remember being 6-7 years old, and keep in mind, like with my generation, we grew up like Scarface was a thing, but most of our parents who were, watched our TV habits wouldn't let us watch Scarface. So like my introduction to like the bad guy, quote unquote, was Scott Hall. Now, granted, Scott Hall took a lot of Razor Ramon from Scarface, but I never had the opportunity to see that movie. So immediately I see this guy with this swag, with these gold chains that talks a lot different than anybody in my town in Midwest Wisconsin, and I'm immediately drawn to him. And I talked about this on Twitter to another fan that reached out to me and said, how much Razor Ramon meant to them. Razor, and keep in mind what I'm talking about here, being 7-8 years old, but wrestling is everything. You get so infatuated and so enthralled with these characters, with these storylines, where it's real life. And Razor Ramon was the very first like heel / bad guy that I cheered for. Like, even when the crowd was booing him, even when he was, beating up, Marty Jannetty, whoever the case may be, a.k.a. the good guys, I was still cheering for Razor Ramon just because the guy was so different. And he made being the bad guy so cool. And that was my very first experience of actually having respect for a heel. Right? Like when Shawn Michaels became the Heartbreak Kid and left the Rockers, I almost cried that day when he kicked Marty Jannetty through the window, at the barber shop. Like that was a very, emotional moment for any kind of kids that grew up as fans of the tag team, wrestlers, the Rockers. But for whatever reason, Razor Ramon just had it. And if you look back on his career, he was so integral in a lot of moments, some of the greatest moments in wrestling history. If you want to see one of the greatest ladder matches of all time, go back to WrestleMania when he wrestled Shawn Michaels in that ladder match, when he unified the Intercontinental Championships. One of the greatest ladder matches of all time, any kind of decade. Razor Ramon was there. When Hulk Hogan did the unthinkable and turned heel in WCW and became, Hollywood Hogan, and the NWO was formed, Razor Ramon was there. When you talk about Degeneration X in WWF at the time, if Razor Ramon doesn't leave the Clique, that never happens. So he's part of Degeneration X. You talk about, if you want to go New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you want to talk about the Bullet Club, without Razor Ramon, that never happens. So you talk about a guy who, was so just larger than life, almost to like a Ric Flair-esque, where wearing these gold chains, having this attitude. There was probably a year in my life where I kept calling everybody Chico and Chica, much to my mom's chagrin, just because Razor Ramon did it. Didn't even know what it meant, right? I mean, I'm not from the South. I don't know what Chica or Chico means, but you better believe there was a time when I wanted a juice box. I'd go to my mom, "Hey, Chica, let me get a juice box."
Oh, boy.
Not the biggest fan of that, but it is what it is, right? And when you talk about his finisher, the Razor's Edge, being 7 years old, it was always hard to get a guy up there to do the Razor's Edge. But let me tell you something right now. If you're by a pool, if you're on a dock in a lake, the Razor's Edge was the go-to move, okay? Because it was so easy to throw somebody in the water. So to me, I'm just, it's obviously, it's a sad ordeal. He had hip surgery. There was complications there. Ended up having 3 heart attacks. They put him in a coma. They woke him up, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. But I would be remiss if I didn't talk about him a little bit, man, because whether you're a new professional wrestling fan, whether AEW came around and got your attention, or whether you grew up in my generation where, he thrived, there is so much to thank with Razor Ramon and Scott Hall that I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't at least talk about it a little bit. And this is probably before your time a little bit, right, Casey?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, and the way to put Razor Ramon is he was Tony Montana. Like, and he was the first one to say he drew a lot of his character from Scarface. And it was an attitude. It was the toothpick. It was the chains. It was the Ayo. It was just everything was just down to a T. So much to the point where I feel like he kind of lived out that life, And I think, at the end of the day, rest in peace to one of the greatest to ever do it. Thank you for making, the bad guys be cool. And wrestling owes Scott Hall a lot, man. So rest in peace, rest in power is what it is. But a lot of great memories watching that fool when I was growing up, man. It's lost a great one. We lost a great one last night. But, the show goes on. So, Casey, let's go ahead and can we go a little early here?
Yeah.
If you want to, let's go out, go a little early. We'll come back for one more break, finish up. We'll put a bow on the show, if you will. What's next for the Jacksonville Jaguars? What are they going to do? Anybody else out there? I mean, we don't talk a lot about running backs. Casey, is there a running back out there maybe in free agency that the Jaguars could take a look at? James Robinson, Travis Etienne coming off of both major injuries. They should be ready to roll, but do you need a little insurance in terms of the backfield?
Definitely.
Let's go and talk about that next here on ESPN 690.
What's up? It's Casey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 wherever you get your podcast to make sure you don't miss moments like this.
Word is you have a new nickname around this place.
Sure do, Brent. Because
Or do you like it? Nicknames are good sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so like how when it's your birthday coming up, which it's my birthday month or whatever, like they kind of give you a little heads up. And I appreciate all the work that they do and everything. But when they say November birthdays and it's Austin Lane and this must be Thanksgiving themed, AKA free range hot buns. you guys like that? Is that good for you?
Sometimes you need an adjustment for that back or neck. Sometimes you need massage therapy for the same. Maybe you need a wellness consultation to protect from injury. You can do all of that and more at 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center. And it doesn't matter where you are in town. There's a 904 Chiropractic and Injury Center near you on the south side in St. Augustine and the newest location on the west side. If you've had personal injury due to an accident, look up 904chiro.com. If you need a wellness consultation, look up 904chiro.com. If you need massage therapy or an adjustment, look up 904chiro.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin. And when it comes to sports drinks, there's a lot of options out there. Whether you're talking about hydration, recovery, or just drinking a healthy beverage that's going to work for you and not against you, it can be hard to find that perfect drink. Well, I'm going to make things super easy on you with some help from my friends at Body Armor with Body Armor Light. Whether you're working out, you're on the go, Body Armor Light is the low-calorie sports drink to hydrate your active lifestyle. It's absolutely insane how much sugar is in some of these sports drinks out here, but not when it comes to Body Armor Light. Because with Body Armor Light, you're talking about a drink that has 0 artificial sweeteners and 0 sugar added. And not to mention, it's also bringing potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, vitamins, and coconut water. So whether you're an athlete, you live an active lifestyle, you want to make a positive, healthy change in your diet, just remember, you can drink water, you can drink a sports drink, or you can optimize yourself by drinking something that's not going to bog yourself down with sugar and artificial sweeteners. And it's something more than a sports drink. That's Body Armor.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done. And you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Men, did you know that over half of all males suffer from ED or PE?
Ladies, your man should talk to the specialists at Prime Men's Medical Center.
If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down,
Men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
for a private consultation at Prime Men's Medical Center, call 904-664-8217.
See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or pay nothing.
Call 904-664-8217.
Inventory, and more inventory. You heard right. If you want over 500 amazing pre-owned, then you've got to get to Arlington Toyota. 100 used trucks, over 200 used SUVs. That's rows and rows of amazing pre-owned selection ready to test drive at Arlington. Plus, with Arlington's 30-day exchange program, you get 30 days to love your pre-owned purchase or exchange it for the full selling price toward another vehicle. If you want inventory, then come and get it at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person and online at ArlingtonToyota.com today. Visit ArlingtonToyota.com/March for details.
This is Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding, and we've paid over $80 million in closing costs. Visit rpfunding.com to see how much we'll pay for your refinance. Or call 855-773-8634.
Terms and conditions apply. Unless 7168 equal housing.
People often ask me, how much money do I have to pay you up front to be my personal lawyer? The answer is nothing. It's free unless we win. What about a slip and fall or car crash case? Free unless we win.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
My leg was painful, red, and swollen just doing the crossword puzzle. I could have put off telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
He told his doctor and found out his leg pain, swelling, and redness are deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to the lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. If you have one or more of these symptoms, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with a Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
Hey everybody, it's Brett Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Why would you bring them back? And right now, you bringing them back to say, oh, get into the play-in tournament and have a strong possibility of competing in the first round. It makes zero sense. The Lakers have one expectation and one goal, and that's to win the championship. And they're not doing it this year. Not with the personnel that they have right now. Russell Westbrook is completely out of it, okay, for whatever reasons, off the court, you know, dealing with the family issues, people attacking his family. I get all that, but he's completely gone. Him and LeBron James have zero chemistry. Carmelo Anthony can't guard a parked car. We heard what the young fella Jalen Green said about him, that they was going to attack him every single time down when the Rockets beat them the other night. Why bring Anthony Davis back?
Perkins going nuclear right now.
Yeah, the only reason I played that sound is because I heard that and I thought it was hilarious.
On the Lakers. Oh, no, it's fantastic. Casey, I don't like celebrating the defeat of others.
I do.
But why? Okay, sometimes maybe I do. Why do I enjoy what's happening in the Lakers right now?
Yeah, it's weird. I feel the same way, and it's not just because that man Brian Middleton doesn't shut up about LeBron James, but
who are you telling?
Here's the thing. I went through this thing like I think a lot of people did. I didn't like Tom Brady, and I didn't like LeBron James just because they were great, right?
Sure.
So I came around on Tom Brady because he left the Patriots. Oh, there's Brian Middleton. We talking about LeBron James.
You talk about LeBron James, and the bat signal goes out, and here comes Brian Middleton.
This man just shows up.
Are you not talking about Brian Middleton? Yeah, okay.
So I didn't like Tom Brady, came around on him. LeBron, kind of the same thing. I came around on him, don't love him, but respect him. It's kind of that point. But to your point, yeah, I think I like the chaos. I like when things go wrong, and this has gone way wrong for the Lakers and LeBron.
Well, and this is the thing about the Lakers as well, is the fact that they're invested to win right now. You know, I mean, that play was obvious. They took the LA Rams approach. And unlike the Rams, who did have success, the Lakers are not doing that right now. And I get Anthony Davis comes back. They can be a different team. But is he going to be the difference maker? Is he the difference maker that takes him from 29 and 39 outside the playoffs to a playoff contender? I don't know if he has that in him. So to me, it begs the question because keep in mind, like LeBron's had a lot of say in terms of who stays, who goes, who gets traded, all this stuff. What is this going to look like after the season if they don't win a championship, which they probably aren't going to win a championship? What happens then?
Probably got to get rid of everybody, right? Like there's no one survives that. Well, LeBron survives.
LeBron survives.
But like Carmelo probably should just retire or will be a free agent and won't get picked up. You got to get rid of Russ. But I think I heard Russ has a player option that it's like $40 million player option that he's obviously going to pick up.
Sure.
So the thing I've heard is there's another guy that has a $40 million player option that's not even playing basketball, which is a story that nobody talks about, but it's fascinating. John Wall. My man is just sitting around in Houston, not playing, collecting bank.
Wow.
But the question would be, you're pretty much, I don't know why the Rocket, well, he's not playing, so I guess if Russ plays, that's better for you, and then the Lakers can get rid of Russ. But if you could find a way to trade those two for each other, then that might be a way to start.
Yeah. To me, it just, I question how much trade capital is left with Russell Westbrook.
That's true.
Right? Because I get it. You're getting a guy who plays hard, right? And I get that gets lost sometimes, especially in today's NBA. But I still think his heart is in it. But he's not the guy that he was in Oklahoma City, and I wonder how much you can get for Russell Westbrook. Because at the end of the day, like if you look at the capital for the Lakers, I don't think they have a lot to be getting. Hey, let's go ahead and trade for this guy and try to build a dream team. Like you can't do that. So I'm very curious to see how LeBron's gonna get out of this one in terms of are there big free agents coming up maybe at the end of the season? We'll see when we get there. But it's just it's not been a good look so far for Los Angeles Lakers. And another story too I got to talk about because he's going to be in NBA Slam Poetry.
Oh boy.
It's a good thing. Karl-Anthony Towns just decided to drop 60 points last night against the Spurs.
That's what they say. Rumor has it. Yeah.
60 points.
It's a lot of points.
And, you win the 3-point contest, so I get you have some clout that follows you. But it just seems like every single week, whether it's Jason Tatum, whether it's Ja Morant, the NBA right now is so full of stars. Like, how many times have we talked about Karl-Anthony Towns on this show?
That's a good call. Not a lot.
Well, he dropped 60. So you got to, that merits a discussion at least.
We got to get him in. I saw him at the airport one time. Total accident.
Did you really?
Yeah. So I was there for, flying, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was with a friend, and my friend was like, yo, I just saw Cat downstairs. I was like, no, you didn't. He's like, I did. He's the only 7-foot guy in the airport. So I walked down there, and sure enough, it was him. But my favorite part is, like, he was trying to hide. Like, he had a hat on.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, pulled down. And I was like, bro, you're 7 foot. Like, I don't think this is working. I got a picture with him. But
oh, nice. Was he cool or not?
I mean,
I'm sure
he was trying to go.
He was trying to go. But you got a picture, though.
Yeah, I was cool about it. I hung out not by the people, and I was like, hey, let me get a pic real quick. My friend got one, and then he jumped in the car and left. Nobody else got one. And then people asked who he was, and I said Michael Jordan.
Nice. I like that. Did you get an autograph, too, or just a picture?
Just a picture.
So, Casey, are you more of a picture guy or autograph guy?
Usually autographs because then I sell them and make money. But that was literally that was like a literal like accident.
Yeah.
Like I was there to fly and I was like, is that Cat?
I got you.
Or my friend was like, that's Cat.
The only NBA player that at least I remember seeing would have been my junior year at Murray State. I was in Atlanta Airport getting ready to come back home. Yeah, sometimes you have to fly to Atlanta from Kentucky to go home to Wisconsin. Don't ask me about it. Yeah. It is what it is. But Kelly Olynyk from Gonzaga was in there. I forgot who he got drafted by. The Heat? Maybe, or the Celtics, whatever the case may be.
Celtics, right?
But maybe the Celtics, yeah. But at the time, I mean, out of college, he was a big, he's a big time player. He had the hair and he had the headband, and I'm like, oh wow, yeah, like that's Kelly Olynyk because the guy sticks out like you wouldn't believe, almost 7 feet tall, and he looks like he's from the '80s playing basketball. True. So I talked to him a little bit, just said what's up, and said, hey man, I think I have better hair than you do. He's like, I don't know, he was joking around, so it was cool.
Yeah.
But that's the only NBA player I've seen. But
I'll tell you, Atlanta Airport, you can't go through there without seeing somebody.
Oh, there's always somebody there.
I seen 50 Cent there one time.
Yeah.
I saw a little Uzi Vert there one time.
Mean, you could see, Beyonce sitting in the Delta first class, like, the area that's marked. I mean, everyone's in Atlanta, it seems like.
This is true story. I was hitting a connector going to Indiana one time, and I was literally in an area where there was only 2 gates, and one was an LA flight. It was literally like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
I saw Wiz Khalifa and Elizabeth Gillies both get on the same flight, and I was like, what the heck is going on?
Atlanta's where it's at. I'm telling you. Yeah. It's all the connections go through there. Like, I've been to Dallas a bunch. Never seen anybody in Dallas.
Yeah.
But I may rest in peace. Saw DMX in Atlanta. You always see people in Atlanta. Dallas is another story, and Dallas is a huge airport as well. All right, let's go and put a ball on the show, Casey. A lot of Jaguars talk today. Free agency, Myles Jack gets let go. People still feel some type of way in terms of how much money was spent to get some of those free agents. Christian Kirk, leading that group. And to kind of close the show, I'll say what I said, in the first hour here. Christian Kirk comes in, he's your best receiver. Okay? You got Marvin Jones. We'll see with Laviska Shenault. You got Evan Ingram, which I like a lot. Now, maybe you paid just a little smidge, but I don't care. It's another tight end, right? And tight end was a position of need. At the end of the day, this is going to make or break Trevor Lawrence in saying, can you elevate these guys or not? If we're sitting here, Casey, 3/15/2023, and we're talking about how it's be a long ways away. Hopefully we make it there.
Yeah, we got to get there first.
We got to get there first. But assuming that we get there and assuming that we're still thriving like we are today, pretty much for the goose, but that's another story. He can kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. I will punt him if he gets in my face tonight. Anyways, but assuming it's 3/15/2023, I don't want to have the conversation about how Christian Kirk didn't get over 1,000 yards. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to have the conversation of where Evan Ingram is who he was in New York. I don't want the conversation of, Marvin Jones really fell off the past couple of years. I don't want to have these conversations because then that means one thing, and it's the most important thing that you all should take with you today from listening to this show. That means that Trevor Lawrence isn't who we thought he was.
Yep.
Okay? Because it's Trevor Lawrence's job to elevate these players. Are there better wide receiver rooms right now in the league than the Jacksonville Jaguars? You better believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Are there better tight ends out there right now than the Jacksonville Jaguars? Well, yeah, no kidding. All right? But what I was told 2 years ago is that you have a chance at a once-in-a-generational type talent in Trevor Lawrence. And I'm going to hold him to that. I'm going to hold all the talk, all the, pomp and circumstance. I'm going to hold him all to that because that's who we expect him to be. So if he is that guy, then it's all going to work out for itself. And keep in mind, you still have a draft too. You can get another wide receiver. Like, the story is not done yet. Free agency is still going on. You still have a draft. My point, though, is I get it. People are concerned how much money was spent. I'm more concerned with, will Trevor Lawrence elevate these players, and will the Jaguars turn over a new leaf and become a better team?
Yep.
Time will tell. For Action Sports Jax, I'm Austin Lane. Shout out to Brett Martineau. Hopefully Ty's doing good in his baseball game. He'll be back tomorrow. Casey pushing all the right buttons. I think we got some Action Sports Jax overtime coming up here in a couple minutes, right, Casey?
Yeah, you better believe it.
All right. For all that being said, RIP to Scott Hall. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. Stay casual. We'll check you out tomorrow. Peace.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 7730 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 7730. Enjoy.
Smoke for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue. And it is at Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Open 7 days a week. Try the smoked wings, southern sides, and big old platters. Trivia night and kids eat free specials during the week. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Order online and skip the line. Visit williejewels.com to see other locations in Florida and Georgia. Yulee to St. Augustine, Brunswick, and Kingsland. Willie Jewell's Old School Barbecue. Smoke for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
Do you know why you see so much camera footage of crimes? Wasn't the camera supposed to deter the crime in the first place? That's because they weren't safe touch cameras. You don't want to see someone breaking into your car. You want to see it before it happens. That's what safe touch cameras do. They alert you via text or video notification beforehand, giving you time to react to the situation. And safe touch cameras have 24/7 video storage in the cloud, the safest and securest way to store important events that only you, the safe touch customer, control. And here's the best news yet. You can get the safe touch surveillance system with 3-color cameras, 24-hour recording, secure storage for as little as $39.95 per month, including 24/7 service, cloud storage, and camera warranty. Camera installation is additional charge. This system will work with any security system or no security system at all. Or bundle the 2-way communicator package for additional savings. Find out how you can get a free survey and demonstration at safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
The right time for the best water is right now. CGC Water Treatment wants to make sure your family's water is clean, healthy, and tastes great. CGC Water's done that for my family for a handful of years now, and it all starts with a Connecticut system. American-made and installed by the pros at CGC Water Treatment. Contact CGC Water Treatment now for your free water test. Connecticut systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Connecticut makes the world's most efficient softeners, twin-tank, non-electric systems that use less salt and water during regeneration. Right now, save up to $600 on select system packages. Financing available with approved credit. Just call CGC Water at 904-552-1242 and ask about the Conway Club, the new service program that will save you money on salt, filters, delivery, parts, and labor. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to make
the earth take the shape that I wanted to take.
And the Allens fire up their John Deere 3032E compact tractor to
grow about 9 acres of flowers.
Because the beauty of having land is deciding how to make it yours. There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
I'm WOKV
Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
And Saints, as well as the Browns, as teams that have met with or are interested in trading for the Houston quarterback. Watson's facing 22 civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct. Given his talent, there is no surprise the number of teams interested is increasing, notes ESPN's Louis Riddick.
This is one of those young men who really can make the entire organization stronger in terms of his performance on the football field, in terms of both offensively and defensively, and even special teams. He's that kind of force multiplier type of player. So any team that has any question about whether or not they have what it takes to compete, not only divisionally, but conference-wise, at the quarterback position, is going to go ahead and kick the tires on him.
Defensive end Randy Gregory agreed to a 5-year, $70 million contract with the Broncos hours after he agreed to a similar contract to return to the Cowboys. Buccaneers acquired Shaq Mason from the Patriots for a 5th-round pick, addressing a major need at guard. Steelers signed cornerback Levi Wallace, 2 years, $8 million.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
It's Tuesday, and I should be halfway home. Not really. But at least in the parking lot trying to fight off the geese to get to my car. But nonetheless, it's Tuesday. What in the world is going on right now? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Action Sports Jax Overtime on a Tuesday for the first time since we were talking to you about the World Series. You remember that, Brian Middleton?
Seems like 6 months ago.
That sounds relatively right. 3 and 3 is 6, something like that. So, yeah, that is what it is. But nonetheless, here we are on a Tuesday. Brian Middleton, Casey Kurtz with you, taking you up to first 4 coverage of the NCAA tournament. The tournament gets underway technically in just a little bit. We are taking you up to those games. We will talk about them a little more as we go on, but it will be Texas A&M of Corpus Christi. Whoa.
There you go.
Whoa.
Corpus Crispy, Krispy Kreme, crispy chicken, spicy crispy chicken sandwich.
Oh, man.
There you go.
It's the words that you don't actually prepare to do
that
wrong.
That goose got you shook.
The goose does have me.
He thinking about 6:35, folks, when he got to walk out that door, folks. Actually, no. Casey, where you parked at today? Where does the goose got you parked at today, man?
I tell you what, I'm no Austin Lane, and I pulled in the parking lot, and I saw right by the side door there was a wide open parking spot. I said, you know what? Yep.
He made a business decision. I'm not mad. Hey, I'm not mad at you.
I did. I decided, you know what? I don't need this. But what else is hilarious is, not that you know our parking lot. Oh, by the way, this is pretty good. The Google Street View was here today. So, like, they're going to have the street view of the parking lot with nobody parked over there. So, there's a couple different doors you can come in, but one that is guarded by the goose is severely closer to the ESPN studio than any of the other doors. So, that's the one we always go in. And other people go in a lot of it's easy to get to the studios if you're not like a salesperson or work downstairs or something like that. So a lot of people use that door, but that door has been guarded by the goose. So I'm telling you, when I pulled in today, nobody was parked over here, maybe 3 cars. And then Austin Lane is obviously parked over here because Austin's not scared of a goose.
Because he's the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, he'll fight a goose. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I was ready to fight the goose. Like when we left last night, I was like, you know what?
You were talking that talk. You were.
I was like, I can fight the goose. Like, it's a goose.
Yeah.
And then when it started hissing at us in a way that I was not prepared for, I was like, all right, this thing's crazy. But then we had a plan, right?
Right.
We're going to walk down the stairs. You're going to go one way. I'm going to go one way. We're going to confuse it. We're going to catch it lacking, and we're both going to be okay.
Well, one of us will at least be okay.
Well, yeah, but preferably me because you were walking towards the nest, so I knew you were done for. So I was like, you know what? I'll survive.
And going first.
That too. Yeah, because, you step that way, then I was going to throw him off with a little step. But anyway, we had a plan ready to go, and we start moving down the stairs, and this thing goes full-on airborne mode right at us. We had to reset. We came back up the stairs, borderline back in the building.
Got huddled up.
We
called a TV timeout.
We had to form a new plan because this goose was holding us hostage. We couldn't even leave. I had to change my hours. Said I was here longer.
Hey, listen, the goose said, I need my cut. Don't make me come and be at this door, on payday if you don't got my money. The other thing, Casey, about that is this. So we have to tell the people, because we're not just shook by a goose.
Right.
Okay, more than one goose, geese, yes, shook.
Yeah.
But just the one hissing, that's not the case. It is the way that you would have to attack an animal. It's like a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Right? If you're up and running and you're a grown person, a grown adult running from a bird, you don't look good.
Yep.
If you try to strike the bird and you're a guy, I'm not talking about, because if you're a lady, I'm not trying to get, sexist or anything, but if you're a guy and you're striking a little animal that might be 10 pounds, you look crazy.
Yes, you do.
Especially if you kick it or if you swing, like a fist at it or something like that. So you got to kind of just, try to calmly, but masculinely, I can't say that word, masculinely.
Well, I couldn't
masculinity.
Say Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
So
you so we had to rethink everything in order to get there. Now, to your credit, Casey, you ended up walking. Technically, you walked first, yeah.
Yep.
And you walked right by it, and
Right
then
by
I walked past the nest. So at the end of the day, I guess it did happen, but
it did. But it took some planning, and then for a half second there, when it went airborne, I thought we were done. Like, I didn't know what we were going to do, but I'm just glad we didn't have to, like, go to fisticuffs with the geese, or mostly the goose, but there are a couple of geese standing by. But, yeah, I parked. I didn't want any part of the geese. So
you can't see. Normally, you can see Casey's car right out the window.
Yeah, you can.
It's in that
park
first
right by the
section.
door.
I mean, it's like he can roll out the door. If he trips down the steps and rolls for like 2 feet, he's at his car.
Yep.
Casey's car is at the Wawa. If you know where Central Parkway is at, Casey's car is passing UNF Little Campus Park just at the Wawa.
It is, though.
Wow. You need a ride to your car?
I might.
Okay.
I might. I parked so far away. I just decided I didn't want to deal with the goose. I was so out of sorts. Instead of grabbing something that I needed out of my car, I grabbed my garage door opener because I was more worried like if the goose was going to catch me lacking by the other door. I also didn't want anyone to see me going in the other door to admit defeat to the goose. So it was just a big disaster.
Yeah, they were out there last night too. I had to come back up here. And there was 2 of them out here again, and it was a tense situation. It was.
How did you get in?
Yeah, I walked fast. It did the little flap. It didn't do quite the flap thing that, showing its wings. Well, one of them was about to do it. You know what I mean? They were hissing again. I was like, this is insane. This is insane. Who's the cause of this right here? Who?
I know. What a bad situation.
You scream at y'all.
I tell you what, I said at the beginning of the show at 3 o'clock today with Brent and Austin, I said, we just need to call Logan Cook. He'll deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I don't want to kick the goose. I don't want to fight the goose, but Logan Cook will do what needs to be done. Should have been Pro Bowl punter Logan Cook of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, boy.
I think Logan will get us right.
Oh, is that a promo?
And solve, it might be.
Yeah,
well,
animal lovers would be like,
I'm telling you, this thing is mean. But nonetheless,
we get to the show. We only got 30 minutes.
Yeah, we've only got 22 minutes to go after talking about the goose, but it's important. But anyway, we got on this topic due to the fact I was trying to tell you that Texas A&M Corpus Christi will play Texas Southern in the first 4 game. We have that coming up for you. Our coverage will start at 6:30. The game will tip off at 6:40. They will play for the right to be a 16 seed in the tournament. And then right after that at 9:10, a game I will be locked into, Brian Milton, I believe, and I mean every minute, every word of that. The Indiana Hoosiers, the IU Hoosiers, will go up against Wyoming for the right to be a number 12 seed in the tournament. So those are the first 4 games you will hear tonight. Coming up, coverage will start in about 20 minutes. And then tomorrow, me and Brian will be with you again from 6 to 6:30. We'll try to fit more sports around the Geese talk. But that will be Bryant and Wright State. And then another, I think all these games are going to be good, but I'm really looking at the late games in both windows. You got Indiana, Wyoming. Indiana made a good run in the Big 10 tournament. Probably should have went farther, but rumor has it the banks open late on Sundays after a clutch shot from Iowa to move on. And then Notre Dame was very good in the ACC this year. Rutgers, another good team, so they will play tomorrow at 9:10. We'll have both of those games for you. And a lot of the tournament games going forward. So we got a lot of tournament right here on ESPN 690. If college basketball is your thing, or if you're just a big-time bracket filler outer, which is me, you should stay locked to ESPN 690. So, like I said, we're rolling until 6:30. All of a sudden, we're out of time in this segment. But Brian Milton, we got to get this in. The Jags made a lot of moves yesterday. You know them. We've talked about them. Highlighted by Christian Kirk and Evan Engram. And after we left yesterday, Zay Jones became a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars, another weapon for Trevor Lawrence. That makes 3 in an offensive lineman to fix the offensive side of the football. But today we learned Myles Jack being cut or released by the team, as well as DJ Chark will be heading to Detroit to play for the Lions. Brian Middleton, when you hear those 2 names that you know will not be suiting up in teal, DJ Chark, Myles Jack, I'm not going to ask you which one you're more surprised about because we thought DJ was going to be gone, so you're obviously more surprised about Myles. But which of those 2 guys do you think this team will miss more, DJ Chark or Myles Jack?
Myles. Yeah, Myles Jack.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, he's been on the field more, especially this past season.
Sure.
I know Chark has a Pro Bowl I can't remember, but wasn't that Pro Bowl like one where, like he deserved it, right? Anybody that gets to the Pro Bowl deserves it, but there were some other guys that weren't playing, and he got voted in like that. Wasn't that one of those things?
Yes. Yeah, no, he was a replacement. Yeah, but I mean, look, he had a good year, 73 catches, 1,008 yards, and 8 touchdowns is pretty legit. I mean, that's a quality year, especially in Jacksonville. Only played in 14 of the 16 games that year, so could have left some yards on the table. But keep in mind, that was a 1,000-yard receiver here in Jacksonville, and you just paid a guy $80 million who's never had 1,000 receiving yards in a season. So, I see what you're saying, but DJ Chark was pretty good here for that 1 year. Obviously, the last couple seasons have been filled with injuries. In that first season, he didn't really play. So you've seen what DJ Chark can be, but it just hasn't came about. But Myles Jack being cut, to your point, you surprised by it?
A little bit, only because with all the turnover and with the moves that they're making, with the new coaching staff, a new defense, depending on what it is, again, what they're implementing. I thought that though I know they took like the captain role from Myles during the season or whatnot to apparently make it easier for him, or that was the hypothesis that it'll be easier for him not to have to make calls and things of that nature. He could just play free and fast. I think that, with him, he was a foundational piece still.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And I thought that maybe he would be able to assimilate with this new staff and be a really big part, if not, one of the biggest pieces, definitely one of those, pieces that you can set the defense around. You got Josh Allen, you got Shaq Griffin, you think you got Tyson Campbell.
Yep.
You think you got some other pieces here beyond what you're going to do in the draft. Aiden Hutchinson is probably would be most people's guess now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you got Myles Jack, who actually is a veteran at this point, and, he played pretty well in a lot of the games. Not to where people think his potential should be at, or what we probably thought when we first drafted him, but I thought that he would be a solid piece for the actual team. So it is a bit surprising.
Yeah, agreed. I was surprised. I know Brent and Austin thought it could happen, but here's what I'll say about Myles Jack. When the Jags picked him in the 2016 draft in the second round, they got an absolute steal. There was injury concerns there for Myles Jack, and he proved all of those injury concerns wrong. For a second-round pick, you got a heck of a steal. He played really good football in Jacksonville. One of my favorite players in Jacksonville, I remember right after they drafted him, Amanda got me a Myles Jack T-shirt, jersey, if you will. That's what I call those things, like T-shirt with the name on the back. So I always liked Myles Jack, real good guy. Saw him at Petco one time buying food for his pets, his dogs, so that was pretty cool. Good guy, but I think will always be remembered in Jacksonville for not being down and what that could have been if the right call was made. The Jags tweeting out about a half hour ago, Myles Jack wasn't and will never be down. Thank you, Myles Jack. So Myles Jack, no longer a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wish him well. We at ESPN 690 wish him well. The same with DJ Chark, who will be heading to the Detroit Lions. We're going to hit this break. One segment on the other side before college basketball coming up right here on ESPN 690. Stick with us as overtime.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Sell your home hassle-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and make the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry so you can sell your home stress-free. Skip the hassle of constant cleaning and costly repairs. When you get a guaranteed offer, there are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Our client Ellie said, within seconds of filling out the form online, I received a phone call to set up a meeting with an agent to review my options. I was so impressed with how easy Mark Spain Real Estate made selling my home with their guaranteed offer, and I sold my home for more than I wanted. Thank you so much, Ellie. I've been in business for over 30 years and have served over 44,000 clients, and I know what matters most: a quick sell and maximum profit. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation, and it's free. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered rain and even a few thunderstorms as we head through this evening. Overnight, drying out a touch down to the mid to upper 50s. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies on Wednesday. Some midday and afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the mid to upper 70s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Biedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Beards Diamonds is locally owned, which means the owners are always on premise to give you the absolute lowest price.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless. Now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. It's also AutoZone's national hiring event. We're hiring all positions, from sales to warehouse and drivers, both part-time and full-time. Visit careers.autozone.com or any one of our stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Do you want the best for your car? Then fill up with Premium at Circle K. Circle K Premium is our best fuel with double the cleaning detergent, protecting your engine from corrosion and damage so it can work at its best. And that, my friend, increases your mileage for more cha-ching in your pocket. Plus, when you fill up with Premium at Circle K, you can save up to 20 cents per gallon. Offer valid Thursdays or Fridays at participating stores. For details, visit CircleK.com. Circle K. How convenient.
Tobacco-Free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone, free online resources, and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
You know it's time, no more cigarettes and you'll be fine. A full commitment to quit is the plan. Time to get the pack out your hand. It's the perfect time for you to quit and say, I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to slow. I'll never come back, never come back to slow. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to slow. I'll never come back, never come back to slow. Never coming back.
The singing, are we 100% on that, or you're not going to use it? Good. You know, maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Smart speakers are becoming part of everyday life, so why not use it to listen to the radio? Tell Alexa, Google Home, or any other speaker to play ESPN 690. Give it a shot weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Brian Middleton brought up 2 intriguing things in the break. I'm going to tell you what those are in just a second. When I tell you this is Action Sports Jax Overtime, ESPN 690. Brian Middleton on the 1s and 2s at the broadcast dawn on Twitter. Casey Kurtz with you as well at K Kurtz. But I like where you go with this, Brian Middleton. The first thing you brought up that intrigues me is you're more worried about the geese than I am because you're telling me that you got to spray grape juice at them to get them to go away.
First of all, I'm not as worried as parking on the other side of Jacksonville. Okay,
hey,
I'm not parking on the west side.
I see your car pretty far down there too.
That's where I normally park, Casey Kurtz. Don't you try me like that.
Well, I'm going to.
I wasn't paying attention to the fact that everybody was shook by the 10-pound geese. That's where I normally park, right there.
Hey,
it's usually more full.
You're so worried about the 10-pound geese, you're trying to figure out what can I spray at them.
No.
Grape juice.
I'm trying to figure out what is it that I can do in order to deter them from trying to pull up on me. Because, again, like I go back to the original point, it's not a good look if these security cameras catch me swinging on a geese. What if I connect? What does that look like? Now people looking at me like I'm an abuser. Okay?
What does it mean
like
at the bare minimum?
Abuser.
At the bare minimum, I hope you put the geese out at least.
I mean, they got small heads. You got to connect. You got to connect, flush. I may got to get like a couple of lessons from Austin Lane first. You know what I mean? You got to twist with your punch. You got to punch from the hip.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
I've watched Creed.
Good. So anyway, that's the first thing Brian Middleton brought up, that grape juice could potentially stop
and Casey
a
Kurtz wrote it down.
Attack.
He wrote it down. He put it in his notes.
I already ordered it on Amazon.
Amazon
of grape
Prime.
juice. Yeah, it should be here tomorrow or in like 10 minutes, one of the two. So that was the first one. I like that. Second one, a little bit more sports related since this is a sports program, as they say. That's what they say.
Feels like National Geographic right now.
It's
we're talking about
Brent likes to say it says an educational program, and I feel like OT, we just educate the people as well. But you educated me on this one. Is there pressure on Trevor Lawrence now that they have gone out and gotten him 3 weapons? You can argue maybe not the best weapons available, but nonetheless, they paid Christian Kirk, they paid Zay Jones, and they paid Evan Ingram. And really, he's not a weapon, but they paid Brandon Sheriff to protect Trevor Lawrence. So they spent a lot of money invested in Trevor Lawrence, as they should, one. But your question is a good one. Is there pressure on him to perform? And since you brought it up, I want your thoughts before I give mine.
I think that there is no more pressure than he already has because he is the number 1 overall draft pick for this organization. He has the responsibility of being the face of this organization and also helping turn around the Jaguars' fortune for well over a decade of losing, like I always say, except for 2017. So, yeah, I think that there's pressure there, but I don't think that it's any more, or if it is, it's just a slight uptick because I never heard Trevor make an excuse or even try to, kind of like sideways make an excuse like, I just need more help or we had so many injuries. If he ever brought up injuries, if he ever brought up maybe some deficiencies, he brought it up in himself as well. And he also said, you just get back to work, you do better. So I think he's still going to approach things that way. And I don't think that he's going to feel anything extra because he's been dealing with this since high school, just being the face of a team and having to perform and now having to do it on the biggest stage. So, yes, there'll be pressure. Yes, a little bit more because they're trying to give him more pieces, and I'm excited for this offense to see what it's going to take shape once the draft and everything is said and done, but not so much more to where, I think it's going to be a big difference.
I like that. That's well said. I like that, but I will add this to it. Evan Ingram is a guy that has underperformed in his career. He had high expectations and has underperformed. Christian Kirk is a guy that I'm not going to say he's underperformed, but he's been a quality piece. He has not been a number 1. I think there's just a little bit of pressure on Trevor Lawrence to, first of all, pay off Christian Kirk being that guy. And granted, Christian Kirk's going to make that decision. He's going to have to catch the football when Trevor throws it to him. But Trevor missed a good amount of throws last year. That's not something that anybody can debate. He's got to make those throws, and I assume that he will. He works hard. Christian Kirk's got to make plays. Evan Ingram, I think, will be good for Trevor Lawrence, especially paired with Dan Arnold. So I like that topic. Brian Middleton, we got a couple minutes to roll here on OT before we turn you over to some basketball coverage, but let's give the people what they want, and that is a breakdown fully of this tournament in these first 4 games, Brian Middleton. We start with the Texas A&M Corpus Christi team. The name is too long. I don't see their mascot. And then we got the Texas Southern Tigers. We got a 18-12 Texas Southern team, a 23-11 Texas A&M Corpus Christi team. Your money's going where tonight, Brian Middleton? A&M Corpus Christi or Texas Southern.
Hey, man, give me the Corpus Krispy Kremes. Give them to me. Give them to me.
Man, listen, you mess up one thing. They were a 4 seed in their conference tournament. And then let's go to the bigger game of the night. The Indiana Hoosiers, 20-13 on the season against the Wyoming Cowboys, 25-8 on the season. Mountain West tournament, the Cowboys, which is interesting here, picked up a W over UNLV, 3-point win. Only lost to Boise State by 7. Boise State is a high seed in the tournament, I believe an 8 seed. The Indiana Hoosiers, like I said, lost on a buzzer beater to Iowa in the tournament. Hoosiers, Cowboys, who's your money on Brian Middleton?
Hey, man, I'm going to go with tradition. Give me IU.
Yeah!
Hoosiers.
Oh, that's a good sign. Brian Middleton is betting on the Hoosiers. So if you want to parlay Brian Middleton's picks, you can go with the Hoosiers and the Krispy Kremes out of that first game. So that's going to do it for us on a Tuesday. We're back tomorrow with another 30-minute edition, OT, regular hour edition on Thursday. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, and the Texas Southern Tigers coming up next right here on ESPN 690. I want to eat a spicy chicken in my Tesla. Is it too much to ask?
Spring deals can't